This page is the striking cover of the September 1991 issue, featuring a vibrant and quirky illustration filled with abstract characters, a smiling sun, and a purple car, driven by a cheerful figure, with Sonic the Hedgehog riding shotgun. The magazine's main feature is a deep dive into Sega characters, exploring what the next generation might look like. It also highlights several upcoming games, including titles for the new Mega CD system like Lunar, alongside cartridge games such as El Viento, Sorcerian, Populous, and the arcade classic Darius. A significant draw is the special supplement focusing on two major Sega hits, Sonic the Hedgehog and Outrun. Additionally, there's a feature dedicated to Namco's latest games, promising a thorough breakdown. The issue also celebrates a milestone, with a third anniversary quiz event, offering prizes. This page dives into the creative potential of the Sega TerraDrive, specifically showcasing a powerful game construction software. Utilizing the TerraDrive's dual CPUs, this tool allows users to build their own games from the ground up. The interfaces shown include a puzzle construction menu, a graphic editor where you can design characters and visuals with full color control, and a parts editor for configuring game elements like scores and their positions. It promises the ability to set game rules and create unique characters, emphasizing user originality. Featured here is Yumiko Takahashi presenting the software, which was scheduled for an August release. It clearly positions the TerraDrive as a platform for creation, not just consumption. This page continues exploring the Sega TerraDrive, shifting focus to the hardware itself and how it enables the game creation software previously discussed. It showcases the software's key editors: the rule editor for defining gameplay mechanics like block speed and clear conditions, the sound editor for manipulating BGM and sounds, and the background editor for customizing visuals. The core message highlights the TerraDrive's unique strength, its dual 2 CPU architecture, featuring both an 80,286 and a 68,000 processor working together. This powerful setup not only facilitates the smooth graphics and sprite movement needed for game creation, but also allows the TerraDrive to run both IBM PC software and Sega Mega Drive games. The page emphasizes its high-resolution VGA graphics and FM sound capabilities, positioning it as a versatile machine for both playing and creating. Different models and their prices are listed, followed by information about where to purchase or get more details. This page features a vibrant spread highlighting two cornerstone Mega Drive titles, the legendary racing game Outrun and the debut of Sega's iconic mascot, Sonic the Hedgehog. The main headline speaks of an upbeat rhythm, scorching heat, followed by text promoting perfect ports of masterpiece games on 16-bit Mega Drive. Details are provided for both games. Outrun, released August 9th for 7,000 yen, is praised for its beautiful graphics, fresh sound, and outstanding speed and exhilaration, challenging players across 5 goal destinations. Screenshots show its signature arcade-style driving view. Sonic the Hedgehog, released for 6,000 yen, is described as a supersonic action game with outstanding speed. Its descriptions emphasize eye-popping speed and stylish graphics, promising exhilarating action only Sonic could deliver. The page includes screenshots showcasing the game's vibrant environments and platforming gameplay. A notable detail is the credit for the sound production going to Masato Nakamura from the band Dreams Come True. Visually, the page features a large dynamic logo for Outrun, a prominent image of Sonic the Hedgehog, a red sports car reminiscent of the Ferrari Testarossa, and a depiction of the Mega Drive console with controller. The text curves across the page to declare that this summer, Outrun and Sonic are your vacation. This page effectively captures the excitement and impact these two diverse yet hugely popular games brought to the Mega Drive library. This page picks up the theme of exploration, urging players to run across the great land, this time on the go with the Sega Game Gear. It spotlights the release of the classic arcade racer Outrun for the handheld system, launching on August 9th for 3,500 yen, coinciding with its release on the Mega Drive. The advertisement highlights the appeal of being able to play this exciting masterpiece anytime, anywhere, on the portable Game Gear. It praises the game's beautiful graphics and cheerful sound. Furthermore, it points out that with a versus cable and 2 Game Gear units, friends can compete head-to-head in versus mode. The page includes screenshots demonstrating the Game Gear version's visuals. Below this, it promotes the Game Gear's capabilities as a device for both game in color, TV in color, listing the console price at 19,800 yen, and the separate TV tuner pack for 12,800 yen. This page features the classic Sega Genesis/Mega Drive beat-em-up Streets of Rage, known as Bare Knuckle in Japan. The dynamic artwork showcases the main protagonists, Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, and Atom Hunter, preparing to take on a horde of street thugs, set against a backdrop of a city skyline. The headline urges players to fight intensely. The text highlights the game as exclusive software for the Mega Drive, with a planned release on August 2, 1991, priced at 6,000 yen. It credits Sega for the copyright and Yuzo Koshiro for the music, which is renowned as one of the game's standout features. The game is promoted as fighting action with simultaneous play, perfect for summer, allowing two players to team up. Screenshots from the game demonstrate the side-scrolling gameplay, featuring the heroes battling multiple enemies on city streets and in front of a building. The description mentions the goal is to defeat a heinous crime organization that controls the city, emphasizing the cooperative joint attacks available during two-player mode and flashy special attacks. It promises powerful techniques to take down the bad guys. The page effectively conveys the game's core appeal: intense action and cooperative fighting against criminal elements in a gritty urban environment. This page features Mercs, the intense top-down action game known as Wolf of the Battlefield 2 in Japan. The dynamic artwork captures the explosive combat, showing the protagonist engaging enemies and a tank amidst fiery destruction. As part of the elite Wolf Force unit, the player is tasked with a critical mission: locating and destroying a long-range ballistic missile. The text emphasizes facing off against giant bosses with a wide array of weapons, promising thrilling battles. This Mega Drive exclusive port of the popular arcade game enhances the experience by including an original mode not seen in the arcade. Screenshots display the varying environments players will fight through, from open fields to city streets and military installations. This is a hardcore action title from Sega. This page features the title El Viento, a high-octane action game and part of the Ernest Evans series developed by Wolf Team. The dramatic title logo dominates the page. Below it are several screenshots showcasing the fast-paced, side-scrolling gameplay, including combat, explosions, and platforming segments set in various environments. The lower portion of the page presents dynamic manga panels illustrating the game's narrative. One panel shows the protagonist, Annette, with a speech bubble that reads, "It's too late, Annette." Another panel shows a figure uttering, "Eliminate!" And below Annette, text references Lord Hastur and states, "The world will be destroyed by the divine fire of Gehenna, the sacred flame." These panels hint at the game's intense story and the stakes involved. The page clearly introduces El Viento as an action-packed title with a dramatic storyline. This page presents the action-packed world of El Viento, developed by Wolf Team. A vibrant illustration dominates the top half, featuring the game's heroine, Annette, in a dynamic pose against a backdrop of city buildings. The text proclaims, "Thrilling, heart-pounding, delivering excitement." It introduces El Viento as a non-stop super action game from the creators of Granada. The game features over 150 patterns of realistic action scenes and stunning visual spectacles. The text highlights massive explosions that fill the screen, utilizing enlarged sprite animation to convey their impact. The story is set in America in 1928. Where the evil cult worshipping the rebirth of the outer god Hastur poses a threat. Annette, a 16-year-old girl, is the only one who can stop them. Having received a powerful wave of Hastur's energy when he was sealed, she uses magic and martial arts to confront the enemies attacking her, one after another. The narrative centers on a blood ritual about to begin for Hastur's summoning in the towering Empire State Building in New York. The page promises an entertaining story filled with action and drama. The bottom left includes smaller monochrome images depicting in-game action or story moments. This page features the Sega Mega Drive fighting game, Fighting Masters, from Treco. It's slated for an October 1991 release. The eye-catching title proclaims it's an aliens battle that shakes the cosmos. The page highlights key aspects of the game, emphasizing its robust roster of 12 unique playable characters, each with a variety of moves and techniques for intricate fighting action. Players can choose any of these 12 distinct combatants. The game also features a massive giant boss specifically for the final stage, promising a challenging climax. Fighting Masters supports two-player versus battles, allowing friends to go head-to-head with the diverse alien lineup. Screenshots showcase the gameplay in action, including character selection details listing the 12 fighters by name, confirming characters like Dio, Larry, Elifa, and others are ready to rumble. This page is an advertisement or feature about Van Tan Computer Information College. It declares the computer supremacy and announces the college's independence and new courses for the 92 academic year, aiming to train creators for the 21st century computer society. They highlight their computer creation department, which includes specialized majors like game software creator, CG/VR creator, sound creator, multimedia creator, and others focusing on various creative and technical computer fields such as robotics, systems engineering, and audiovisual coordination. A new car industrial design major is also promoted. The page serves to inform prospective students about the programs available, emphasizing the college's focus on cultivating talent in the rapidly evolving world of digital creation, particularly relevant for readers interested in getting into the game development industry. This page showcases the game Solfis, released on September 13, 1991. The striking artwork features a large, swirling planet under a starry sky, accompanied by the title, "The End of the Galaxy Becomes a Battlefield." Below the main image are 3 smaller screenshots highlighting different environments from the game. These screenshots depict gameplay from stages including the Plant Planet, Markland, the Sand Planet, Sarah, and the Cloud Planet, or Saya. The page serves as an announcement or preview for this intense space shooter, giving players a glimpse of the diverse battlegrounds they will face in the far reaches of the galaxy. This page features a vibrant image of a planet under a starlit sky, announcing the release of the classic 3D shoot-'em-up, Galaxy Force 2, set for release on September 13th, the same day as Solfis shown on the previous page. This title boasts 8 MegaRoom and support for analog joysticks like the XU1AP, promising an authentic arcade feel. The page includes 2 gameplay screenshots, showcasing the action across diverse environments, such as the artificial planet Megarion and the fiery volcano planet Ashpadal. Text describes the premise. A peaceful star system, the Juno system, is threatened by the oppressive Fourth Empire, leading the Galactic Federation to dispatch the elite task force, Galaxy Force, to fight back. The game was originally by Sega in 1988 and reprogrammed by Chris in 1991. This page showcases vibrant promotional artwork for a Konami game, featuring a large, detailed, futuristic spaceship, the Aura Wing, soaring through structured, pyramid-like environments alongside smaller enemy craft. The artwork has a strong sci-fi feel with mystical undertones, highlighted by the red and gold color palette and glowing elements. Text on the page reveals that the game is likely Crisis Force, a shooter from Konami. The premise describes ancient evil monsters reviving along with the continent of Atlantis, unleashing destructive power on major cities. The player is tasked with piloting the Aura Wing, powered by Aura Power, to combat this threat and save humanity. Key features highlighted include multi-layered scrolling for a sense of depth, the ability to select from 3 ship types, 2 individual ships that can combine into a third, bomb attacks that differ depending on the ship type, and a novel combination mechanic. The text also specifically mentions the game is equipped with a Konami Original IC VRC chip, confirming this title is for the Famicom NES console. Difficulty adjustment is also possible. This page showcases Konami's Crisis Force for the Famicom NES, hailed as a masterpiece of the console shooting genre. Developed by the creators of the legendary Gradius series, this new title is described as the conclusion of Famicom shooting games and a weapon shock that transcends the era. A small screenshot shows the game's vertical scrolling action, featuring the player's ship and enemies. The page announces the game's release date as August 27, 1991, priced at 6,000 yen, excluding tax. It also promotes a demo campaign starting August 1st, allowing players to get an early look at the game screen at various participating stores. Konami expresses their desire for many players to experience Crisis Force and offer their feedback. This page features Valis SD, a delightful and comical spin on the classic Valis series. The page exclaims surprise and delight at this cute version, highlighting its enjoyable gameplay with a comical touch. Players can freely select from 3 characters, including the super cute Yuko, to take on a variety of strange enemies with cool action. The artwork showcases Chibi-style versions of the characters and monsters from the Valis universe. The page promises the undeniably fun world of Valis awaits. Brought to you by developer Lasersoft and publisher Nihon Telenet. This page unveils Tracia, a romantic and adventurous RPG, being brought to you by Nihon Telenet, who who were also featured on the previous page. The stunning artwork portrays a bustling, vibrant port market teeming with people of diverse backgrounds, camels laden with goods, and colorful banners overhead, capturing the exotic atmosphere of a foreign land. The accompanying text describes the sensory overload of the market, from the various skin tones of the travelers to the lively voices of the merchants, and hints at the beginning of a journey for the main characters visible in the foreground. Illustrated by Mahiro Maeda, this RPG promises a captivating story set in this detailed and lively world, scheduled for release in November. This page announces the upcoming Mega Drive port of the acclaimed PC strategy game Tenka Tuitsu. Titled Conqueror of a Turbulent Age for the Mega Drive, it is presented as a complete conversion of the PC masterpiece. The dramatic artwork features a powerful samurai on horseback, setting the stage for this historical simulation game. Scheduled for release in autumn, the game plunges players into Japan's turbulent Sengoku era, where they will aim to unite the country under one rule. The text highlights the game's depth, mentioning over 400 historical warlords, including famous figures like Oda Nobunaga, Takeda Shingen, and Uesugi Kenshin. Players will engage in strategic planning, political maneuvering, and military campaigns, utilizing period tactics, and even the newly introduced firearms. This promises a detailed and challenging experience for fans of historical simulations. This page unveils Beast Warriors, an upcoming fighting game for the Mega Drive from Telenet Japan's Riot brand, scheduled for a September release. Set in a dark world transformed by genetic engineering and artificial life forms, the game features monstrous combatants battling when the world is dyed in the color of madness. The page showcases several of these unique fighters, including D, T2, DA, 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 ZT, and the robotic hack 004, providing details on their ranking, size, weight, and special moves. The striking artwork and character designs highlight the game's focus on genetically engineered beasts and brutal combat. This interview with Hiroshi Naito, Climax, and Masayasu Yamamoto, Riot Telenet Japan, discusses game development tools, focusing on the Genesis/Mega Drive and Super Famicom (SNES). They contrast the user-friendly Genesis environment with the complex SNES environment, built on Unix. While Genesis tools are easier to use, the SLEEN's limitations might enforce stricter quality control. PC Engine tools are also mentioned as convenient, with some graphical tools applicable to Genesis development. The programmers debate the hardware strengths: SNES for graphics, Genesis for processing power. They agree developer skill is crucial, regardless of the chosen platform. The article teases a desire from Naito to create a game like Sonic the Hedgehog, and mentions their past work on games like Shining Force and Valis. The discussion concludes, emphasizing the importance of development environments for the future of gaming, with a promise of more information to come on YS2I, Wanderers from YS. This page features an exciting announcement for Mega Drive owners. The classic action RPG YS2I, Wanderers from YS, is finally making its debut on the console. The page highlights the game with a large stylized YS logo and includes 3 screenshots showcasing the side-scrolling gameplay that sets this entry apart from the previous top-down games. It mentions the game is a masterpiece of the ARPG genre. The advertisement also includes details about the game's upcoming release in October, priced at 8,700 yen. Additionally, it promotes a new brand campaign from Telenet Japan's Riot label, where customers can collect points from purchasing products to receive original telephone cards, tying into the developer's new branding push. The copyrights are noted for Nihon Falcom and Telenet Japan, 1991. This page showcases 2 exciting titles from NCS Corp. The top half features Sorcerer Kingdom, a fantasy RPG being heralded as a super masterpiece following the standard RPG path. It's slated for a November release, priced at 8,800 yen, and features an 8 megabit room with backup memory. There are also details about upcoming CSG events in Osaka and Tokyo related to the game. Below that, we see information on the popular fantasy simulation game, Warsong, known as Langrisser in Japan. Described as a tactical simulation game, with 20 continuous scenarios, it's already proving to be a hit, with additional shipments decided due to high demand. It's currently on sale for 7,300 yen, and uses a 4 megabit room with backup memory. The page also includes a section recruiting staff for TV game, graphic data creation, and anime scene animation. The artwork features the titles prominently, alongside a vibrant red flower and character art, including a prominent female character associated with Warsong. Both games are copyright 1991 NCS Corp. This page features an announcement for Gi Dai Senryaku G for the Sega Game Gear. This is a war simulation game where strategic ability is key to achieving victory. The mission is to capture the enemy's capital by defeating countless enemy units with overwhelming force. The game promises a realistic and speedy gameplay experience, focusing on precise command of powerful units. The text emphasizes that this is a battle of brains rather than just might. The artwork shows a modern tank, helicopter, and fighter jet in action amidst explosions, alongside a striking image of a young person in a military uniform. Screenshots display the game's map view and a list of ground units with their standard costs, including tanks, vehicles, anti-air, and mechanized infantry. The game is scheduled for a September release and will retail for 4,800 yen, utilizing a 2 MB ROM with SRAM backup function. This page features the racing simulation game Fastest One for the Sega Mega Drive, developed by Human Creative Group. It promises to recreate the intense battles of the entire 1991 F1 season, featuring all 16 races with faithful reproductions of the courses, weather conditions, and intricate car settings like engine, gear ratios, tires, wing angles, and even coloring. The game emphasizes realism, including qualifying sessions and pit stops, aiming to capture the true tension of F1 racing. Screenshots showcase the in-game perspective and track maps, specifically highlighting the Phoenix, American GP, and Suzuka, Japanese GP circuits. The game offers various modes, including a full World Championship mode where you compete for the title, a test run mode, and a 2-player battle mode for head-to-head competition. The ad challenges the player, asking if they have what it takes to become the F1 World Champion amidst the adrenaline-pumping excitement. Fastest One is presented as a highly detailed and challenging F1 game. It is currently on sale for 7,500 yen, excluding tax, and includes battery backup for saving progress. There's also a mention of a Human Fair Summer Battle event happening at various locations, featuring company contact details in the top left. This page features the fantasy war simulation game Master of Monsters for the Sega Mega Drive. The advertisement challenges the player to reign over the demon world, showcasing vibrant artwork depicting a knight on a dragon battling towards a dark castle, overlooked by a powerful figure, with an angelic being also in flight. Key selling points highlighted include music supervision by the renowned Koichi Sugiyama, an original AI system for the Mega Drive version, powerful battle animations, easily visible character growth, and faster gameplay achieved through an original system. The game is currently on sale, requiring a 4 Mega ROM cartridge and featuring battery backup for saving your progress. Screenshots show the strategic hexagonal map view and a close-up of a battle between 2 units. This page provides the table of contents for this issue, offering a snapshot of the Mega Drive world in September 1991. It kicks off with a new title scramble, giving you the rundown on a barrage of fresh releases like Super Fantasy Zone, Dragon's Fury, Mercs, Spider-Man, Populous, and Growls, covering everything from shooters to puzzle games and strategy titles. The BeepMD Hot menu digs deeper into specific hits, highlighting the action platformer El Viento and the strategy depth of Master of Monsters, which you might remember from the previous page's striking artwork. There's also a look at classics like Galaxy Force 2. A special feature titled All That's Sega Characters promises a deep dive into Sega's iconic roster and musings on where they might be heading next. As the Sega CD was on the horizon, a section is dedicated to previewing upcoming software for the new add-on, featuring titles like Lunar and Ernest Evans. This issue also includes substantial supplements, one providing guides for the essential Sonic the Hedgehog, and the classic arcade racer Outrun, and another focusing entirely on Namco's latest offerings for the platform. Finally, a long list of regular columns covers reader interaction, news, game design, music, cheat codes, and even a feature on the international Genesis scene, ensuring every angle of Mega Drive fandom is covered. This page presents the latest sales data for both Sega Mega Drive and Game Gear software. The Mega Drive Top 10 is dominated by new releases, with Advanced Military Commander, likely the international equivalent of, taking the top spot, praised highly for its quality and potential to be a classic. Other new entries in the top ranks include the action brawler Alien Storm, the platformer Marvel Land, the wrestling game Wrestle War, and the racing title Fastest One. Established hits like Shining in the Darkness and Super Monaco GP continue to chart, showcasing enduring popularity. The overall trend indicates a healthy market buoyed by strong new titles, pushing some previous high rankers down, but keeping the Mega Drive in excellent shape. The Game Gear section features a top 5 list, highlighting titles like the GG Shinobi and the portable version of Super Monaco GP. The commentary notes that while overall sales might not be booming this month, the Game Gear hardware itself is selling, which is pulling some older titles back onto the charts, alongside new entries like Halley Wars and the Puzzle Classic Columns. The popularity of these games, particularly Columns, which is described as a nostalgic favorite, is also discussed. This page highlights user demand for game ports and also provides a look at popular arcade games in local shops. The user data section reveals the top 20 games that readers most want to see ported to the Mega Drive. Topping this wish list is Street Fighter II, followed by SimCity and Record of Lodoss War. Other highly desired titles include Cotton, Final Fight, and games from the Wizardry series. A brief article mentions Namco's announcement of Rolling Thunder 2 coming to the system, and the anticipation for Galaga 91, suggesting more good ports are on the horizon. Screenshots accompany some entries, showing the action in Rolling Thunder 2, the vibrant visuals of Cotton, and the intense 3D shooting of Night Striker. Meanwhile, the shop data section lists the latest video games proving popular in arcades. Street Fighter II holds the top spot here as well, underscoring its massive appeal. Other games doing well include the baseball titles Clutch Hitter and Super Stadium 91, the intense shooter Thunder Force 2 Eyes, shown with a screenshot, and Raiden. The commentary notes that Street Fighter II and Raiden are maintaining particularly strong popularity in the arcade scene. Screenshots showcase Clutch Hitter and Thunder Force 2 Eye from this list. This page presents the User Data Top 20 Highly Anticipated New Games, a ranking based on reader surveys. The top spot goes to the arcade racing classic, Outrun, with a screenshot showing its signature style. The commentary notes the high quality of this highly anticipated port. Populous, the God simulation game, surprisingly takes second place, with a screenshot of its worldview, lauded for its significant appearance on the platform and high transplant quality. Third place is awarded to the futuristic 3D shooter Galaxy Force 2, featuring a screenshot of its intense action, highlighted as a strong arcade port. The action platformer El Viento secures fourth place, featuring a screenshot of its gameplay and noted for starring Annette, a character familiar from the magazine's manga, whose smooth movements are praised. Rounding out the top 5 is Sorcerer's Kingdom, a new RPG from Masaya, shown with a screenshot and described as incorporating simulation elements of battle and growth. The rest of the list, from 6th to 20th place, features a variety of titles including Golden Axe 2, Alicia Dragoon, Devil's Crush MD, Technosoft's first port, shown with a pinball screenshot, Power Drift, and Wonder Boy in Monster World, showcasing the diverse lineup of upcoming titles the readers are excited about. A baseball game, Pro Yaku Super League 91, is also shown with a screenshot in the top 10. This page lays out the upcoming software schedule for both the Mega Drive and Game Gear platforms, giving gamers a look at what's on the horizon. The Mega Drive lineup is extensive, featuring a diverse array of genres from action and RPGs to simulations and racing, confirming many of the highly anticipated titles mentioned previously, such as Outrun, Populous, Galaxy Force 2, El Viento, Devil's Crush MD, Golden Axe 2, Alicia Dragoon, and Prince of Persia. There's also a wealth of new titles listed, though many later releases still have undetermined release dates and prices. The Game Gear also shows a promising future with its own schedule, including portable versions of classics like Outrun, Rastan Saga, Space Harrier, and Bonanza Bros, alongside new entries like GG Alesti and a Phantasy Star spin-off. Like the Mega Drive list, some titles are still awaiting final dates. In the editorial section, the team discusses the current landscape, acknowledging the emergence of Mega CD titles, but reassuring players that the standard room releases for the Mega Drive are far from slowing down, hinting at significant announcements to come. They specifically highlight and feature Taito's upcoming game, Mao Renjishi, with a screenshot expressing excitement for this title. The Softmaker Information Board provides updates on upcoming games from various companies. Sega details a busy August with several Mega Drive releases. Namco previews the ATV action game Megatrax. UPL announces a soon-to-be-released Mega Drive port of Gamola Speed. Wolf Team announces El Viento for September. Victor Musical Industries reveals Shadow of the Beast. Visco asks if readers are familiar with Geskel .50. Hot B is releasing Detonator Organ on Mega CD. Newcomers include Wonder Amusement Studio, with Twinkle Tail, and Nihon Busan. Microcabin will release Frey on Game Gear and hints at another title. Gumpile plans GG Aleste for Game Gear and Mega CD software. Sims will bring Alien Syndrome and Heavyweight Champ to Game Gear and Tecmo/Sims World Cup 92 to Mega Drive. The board acts as a direct channel for game developers to share news. This page features the Mega Reader Race, a unique reader-driven ranking system for Sega Mega Drive games. Readers rate games on a 10-point scale, and the page presents the average score from all participants, along with the magazine's own average score for comparison. The main table lists games ranked by their average reader score. The top-ranked game is Advanced Daisen Ryaku, lauded by readers with an impressive 9.19 average score. Comments highlight its depth and presentation, calling it potentially the strongest ever on Mega Drive. Other featured games include Arcus Odyssey at rank 32, noted for its two-player mode, and enjoyable elements despite some initial difficulty. Scoring 7.42 from readers. Zero Wing comes in at 17th, with a 7.81 average, described as surprisingly good for its developer, and praised for solid gameplay and music. Herzog Zwei, ranked 29th with 7.55, is seen as difficult to master but rewarding, with tactical depth, and the ability for the player's unit to engage in combat. Games outside the main ranking include Cyberball at 47th, considered a decent, simpler alternative to other sports games, scoring 6.85 from readers. At a much lower rank of 82nd, Super Real Basketball receives mixed reviews, with reader comments noting a good shooting animation but criticizing its overall depth and execution, reflected in its low 5.69 average score. This page continues the Mega Drive Reader Race Rankings. The main table shows games from rank 46 down to 112, with reader average scores indicating their popularity and perceived quality among the magazine's readership. Several games are highlighted, with more detailed reviews. Batman, ranked 60th with a reader score of 6.377, is praised for its good balance and cool sound, although one reader felt it lacked originality. Twin Cobra, Kukyoku Tiger, surprisingly low at rank 80 with a reader score of 5.7666, is considered difficult even on easy mode, with graphics described as not great. A reader felt the game should have offered more support like bomber power-ups after clearing stages. New games are also introduced. Forbidden City, Shikinjo, ranks high at 20th with a reader score of 7.7009, highly recommended for puzzle fans due to its difficulty variations and longevity. Hot Beat, Kagayaki, ranked 69th with a 6.051 reader score, receives comments about good sound but sluggish movement, and items being hard to reach. Finally, Super Hydlide, near the bottom at rank 107 with a reader score of 4.4687, is criticized for causing stress due to mechanics like needing to eat and sleep, and high lodging costs. Other sections include a call for reader participation in the race, asking for predictions on the upcoming Streets of Rage, Bare Knuckles' average score, and an editorial summary noting the success of recent titles like Advanced Daisen Ryaku, and anticipation for Sonic the Hedgehog. This page highlights new releases under the BeepMD race feature, presenting them as a head-to-head match. Screenshots and reviews are provided for two games. First up is Megatrucks, an arcade racing port, which scores an average of 5.5. Reviewers commented that while the graphics and sense of speed weren't overly impressive, the core racing gameplay offered some decent fun. The highly anticipated arcade classic Outrun is also featured, receiving a much higher average score of 8.25. The reviews are very positive, praising the game's faithful recreation of the arcade experience, its exciting sound design, and smooth driving feel, with one reviewer calling it the best version available across all platforms. The port includes all 15 courses, and even features the original ending. The page also includes short contributions from various magazine personalities like Mayumi Okada and others, sharing brief personal updates or thoughts. Additionally, there is a section explaining the How to Read This corner, detailing the 10-step evaluation system used, based on the average scores from 4 reviewers, and noting that the scores are intended as reference points. This page continues the BeepMD race feature, showcasing more new Sega Mega Drive releases with expert analysis. First up is Populous, the Genesis version port of the classic God simulation game, scoring an average of 7.0. Reviewers found the core concept interesting, despite debating the definition of God, and noting the controls were decent, though a mouse would be preferable. Next is Jewel Master, an original action game averaging 5.5. While the ring system that alters attack methods was highlighted as a good idea, reviewers felt it lacked practicality and execution. Following that is Pro Baseball Super League 91, a sports title with an average of 5.75. It features real teams and player names, but reviewers felt the player models and actions lacked individuality. Finally, Space Battleship Gamora, an arcade shooter port by UPL, scores a 6.75 average. Its unique visual style and sense of humor were praised, particularly the swelling/shrinking ship mechanic, though some noted the controls could be complex and the ship's speed felt slow. The two-player simultaneous mode controlling a single ship was seen as a fun addition. This page continues the BeepMD race feature, showcasing more new Sega releases. First is the Game Gear port of the classic arcade racer, Outrun, featuring rearranged courses and including both versus computer and player versus player modes. It scores an average of 6.25. Reviewers felt it was an improvement over the Mark II version in terms of smoothness, but found the overall presentation a bit sparse and noted issues with the button layout affecting braking. While the versus mode wasn't highly recommended, it was seen as a solid Game Gear interpretation, good for relaxed play. Next up is Eternal Legend, the first original RPG for the Game Gear, which receives an average score of 6.75. Reviewers appreciated the bright atmosphere and initial hook, as well as the engaging story development, although the combat was described as somewhat bland. The early game difficulty was noted as high, requiring frequent saving. It's considered a decent, albeit B-class, RPG that becomes quite engaging as the story progresses, especially recommended for fans of the genre. The editorial section highlights Outrun and Populous, from the previous page, as the key releases this month, noting the long-awaited arrival of Outrun on a Sega platform. Eternal Legend is also recommended for Game Gear owners. The difficulty of Space Battleship Gamora is briefly mentioned, and the section concludes by praising Sega's effort in bringing popular titles like Populous overseas, and considering the Game Gear Outrun potentially the better buy depending on preference. This page covers various Sega news and information updates. It kicks off with news of a business tie-up between Victor and Sega concerning Crydrom technology, hinting at the development of an integrated MegaDrive and Crydrom unit for the future, estimated to cost around 100,000 yen. The goal is to expand the target audience for both companies. The page shows images of the Mega CD attached to the Mega Drive and a Victor AV setup. Next, details are provided for the Autumn CSG New Game Announcement Event Tour across Japan, where attendees can get hands-on with upcoming Mega Drive titles. Sega's Amusement Machine division is also highlighted, showcasing new products like a holographic display game and mentioning the continuing popularity of the UFO catcher. The page also features the visit of Daniel, the 15-year-old European Mega Drive champion, who won a tournament hosted by Virgin Games and trained hard for the competition, noting that most UK Sega users prefer the Master System. Finally, Capcom's popular arcade game, Final Fight, is announced for release on video by Gamist, focusing on showing off the enemy characters and intense gameplay. An image features the character Hager. This page explores the path to becoming a game designer, featuring the Bantan Design Institute, which has launched a new game designer course this April. The institute, with 25 years of history in training designers, decided to open this course, recognizing the increasing importance of computers in the design field. The curriculum is comprehensive, covering everything from computer basics to programming and graphics design, even incorporating Macintosh for multimedia preparation. They also help students prepare for information processing exams. To reach aspiring designers nationwide, the school, located in Tokyo, plans to hold events and seminars in various regions. The page includes insights from industry figures like Mr. Hiroshi Ishikawa, who stresses the need for developers with strong skills matched to hardware and excellent communication for the future of games. Game designer Mr. Kenji Iino, who lectured at a recent seminar, highlighted that creativity for game design comes from diverse experiences like reading manga, watching movies, and exploring amusement parks. People with vitality are essential for making games. The seminar offered attendees a glimpse into the behind-the-scenes stories of the game industry. The BeepMD World in Summer Carnival in Okayama showcased new Mega Drive and Game Gear software, including Sonic the Hedgehog, and titles from third-party developers like Palsoft and Riot/Telenet. The event was popular with families. The page also announced the upcoming broadcast schedule for the BeepMD World TV show. In related news, Konami unveiled the Game Selector, a new peripheral that simplifies connecting multiple consoles, Mega Drive, Super Famicom, etc., to a single TV with a single power adapter. The device features 6 ports and supports stereo audio. Finally, the article previews upcoming summer events, including the Terra Experience campaign in Tokyo and the World Grand Prix Fair in Okayama, urging readers to attend these exciting activities. This page features a new release scramble, a roundup of upcoming software across various platforms, including titles like Devil's Crush, YS2I, Wanderers from YS, Elysia Dragoon, and Solfis. The main focus, however, is on Super Fantasy Zone for the Mega Drive, featuring the return of the classic coin-collecting spaceship, Opa 2 Opa. This fan-favorite shooting game, originally a Sega arcade hit later ported to home systems, is being resurrected for the Mega Drive by Sunsoft. The article highlights that this version is super due to significantly powered-up graphics compared to the arcade original, and the addition of a third weapon type, the special weapon, which can be equipped. The basic shop system, where you collect coins from defeated enemies and buy power-ups, remains a core part of the gameplay. Screenshots showcase vibrant stages like the Plant Planet Picnica and the Volcano Planet Kazern, featuring imaginative bosses. The game is scheduled for a November release by Sunsoft. Fans of the original Fantasy Zone can look forward to this enhanced return of the series. This page focuses on YS2I, Wanderers from YS for the Mega Drive, published by Riot and Nihon Telenet, and scheduled for a mid-October release for 8,700 yen. The article positions this version as a peak achievement, surpassing other platforms, despite initial concerns due to its multi-platform release history. It praises the high level of polish, exceptional graphics, stimulating sound, and smooth scrolling, noting improvements over previous versions like the PC Engine port's scrolling issues. The review highlights the attention to detail in the environment and characters, showcasing detailed action scenes and formidable boss battles. Screenshots illustrate various locations, combat encounters, and the game's detailed visuals. Overall, it's presented as an excellent port of the classic action RPG. This page features the simulation game, Ruler of Troubled Times, arriving on the Mega Drive. Originally a popular PC title from 1989, known as Unification of the Realm, this port by Asmik is set for a November release at 9,800 yen. You play as a daimyo during Japan's Sengoku period, aiming to unify the country. While similar strategy games often use hex grids, this title focuses on province-level conquest and emphasizes detailed battles and diplomacy within a unique system. The game progresses through seasons, each broken down into 5 distinct phases: an update phase handling income and events, a military preparation phase for recruiting troops and acquiring weapons, a strategy phase for castle improvements crucial for defense, an operation phase covering troop movements, recruitment, and diplomacy, and the crucial battle phase. The Mega Drive version enhances the experience with dynamic sound effects like horse neighs and soldier shouts, immersing you in the era. Screenshots showcase the title screen, various map views with strategic overlays, an officer list displaying stats, and a battle scene between opposing armies. It looks like a solid port, bringing a deep strategy experience to the console. This page features 2 new releases for the Mega Drive. First up is Beast Wrestler, a unique fighting game where genetically engineered beasts square off. The rules are simple, focusing on knockouts or submissions, with no fouls allowed. Players can power up their characters through training, or by purchasing items like body parts or performance enhancers from a shop. A key feature is character fusion, which combines 2 beasts to create a new, more powerful fighter with changed graphics and abilities. Screenshots highlight the wrestling-style combat, the peculiar shop, and the fusion process. Below, we have Cowpoint 50, an arcade port from 1989. This is a top-down shooter where you play a soldier attempting to escape hostile territory. The Mega Drive version boasts a much larger map than the arcade game. It offers 2 control types, one similar to Forgotten Worlds, where aiming is separate from movement, and another tying aiming to movement direction. Although it doesn't support 2-player simultaneous play, the fundamental system, enemies like giant apes and tanks, and the core action are retained. Screenshots show the overhead shooting gameplay, including segments controlling vehicles like tanks and planes. It also notes the ability to shoot innocent animals in the game. This page features a look at upcoming Mega Drive titles. First is Dragon's Fury, a distinctive pinball game known as Devil Crash MD in Japan. It boasts a multi-screen vertical main board and emphasizes bonus stages accessed by skill shots, offering a chance for a high-score comeback. The bonus stages are particularly notable for their diverse and macabre themes, including a dragon, bats, skulls, and ancient ruins, each with unique layouts and objectives. Achieving a high bonus chip score grants a powerful flipper upgrade during these stages. Next up is Shogi no Hoshi, a Japanese chess game aiming for a more serious take on the genre. On the Mega Drive, it uniquely incorporates an adventure mode, where a young player seeks revenge through shogi matches. Screenshots show dialogue scenes and the game board, hinting at the story integration. Finally, we see Dragon's Eye plus Shanghai 2i. This compilation includes Shanghai 2i, the classic Mahjong solitaire game featuring expanded tile layouts and gameplay enhancements. It also includes Dragon's Eye, a unique competitive mode where players race to complete or prevent a dragon tile pattern, supporting both single-player and two-player modes. Screenshots showcase the distinct tile layouts for both games. This page presents a selection of upcoming Mega Drive titles. First up is Mercs, the excellent sequel to Commando. This port brings the arcade's intense shooting action to the Genesis, praised for faithfully recreating the exhilarating gameplay. It also features a substantial original mode alongside the arcade version, adding depth with elements like item collection and party building, making it highly replayable. Screenshots show the classic top-down shooting view and a character selection/shop screen. Next, we look at Spider-Man. This action game brings the iconic hero to the Genesis. The review highlights the unique actions specific to Spider-Man, like web swinging, punching, kicking, and using webs to stun enemies, creating exciting gameplay moments throughout the levels. Screenshots feature side-scrolling action and web-based movement. Following is Blockout, a highly anticipated puzzle game. Described as a 3D Tetris, it challenges players to fit falling blocks into a 3D grid. The review notes its addictive nature, already known from PC releases, and the fun derived from thinking spatially to clear layers. Screenshots clearly show the distinctive 3D playing field. Finally, we cover Sword of Sodans. The review immediately points to the game's over-the-top gore, calling it a very American type of action game, with scattering blood spray. It notes the detailed graphics and voice synthesis, although these aspects seem to contribute to a disturbing atmosphere that might make players hesitate. Screenshots show the character selection screen with barbarian-like heroes and side-scrolling combat sequences. This page previews several upcoming titles for the Mega Drive. First up is Growl, the arcade beat-em-up from Taito. While the arcade allowed 2 players, the Genesis port lets 1 player choose from 4 characters, adding new moves and depth not found in the original. The reviewer notes, it looks like a rough brawler but is actually quite refined. Next is Exile, a title from Riot/Nihon Telenet, mixing ARPG and action. It features a rich story and world, using a top-down view for exploration and separate screens for action-packed battles. The Mega Drive version promises enhanced content. Following is Iron Empire from Hot B, a side-scrolling shooter set in a unique, imagined future world. It boasts advanced graphics techniques like multi-layer scrolling and high-quality sound, aiming for excellence in every aspect. Finally, Twinkletail is presented as an action-shooting RPG for the Mega CD. Players control a small wizard fighting to save a peaceful land. The graphics are highlighted for being unusually bright and clear for the system, with promising sound development. This page provides an update on the anticipated title, Alicia Dragoon, detailing the reasons for its delay, which primarily stem from tool development. Game Arts has been refining the action-shooting gameplay, adding features like increased jump frequency, more dynamic map layouts, and changes to the battle system, including auto-aim, charge shots, and alterations to the option monsters. They even reduced the number of stages to focus on quality. While the release date is still unconfirmed, the game is clearly progressing well, featuring visually appealing boss designs as shown in the screenshots, including a massive floating eye creature and a winged dragon. The page also includes last-minute updates on other games. Solfis, the popular X68000 shooter from Wolf Team, is coming to Mega Drive later this year, promising intricate characters and a robust power-up system. Riot's Valis, following image illustrations last month, now shows a screenshot and is noted to be utilizing a significant 4 MB capacity, with development reportedly going smoothly. Finally, Sunsoft is bringing the classic puzzle game Lemmings to the Mega Drive, aiming for a year-end release. although the screenshot shown here is from the PSC version. It's exciting to see these diverse titles heading to the system. This page focuses on El Viento, the latest Mega Drive title from Wolf Team. It's highlighted as a high-quality side-scrolling action game, despite featuring a female protagonist, which the reviewer suggests might surprise some players. The story is set in 1928, involving a cult seeking to revive the evil god Hastur, with the help of Al Capone, who plans to build a summoning tower in Manhattan. The only obstacle is Annette, a girl who sealed Hastur previously and gained powers, also possessing a connection to the deity. The game kicks off as Capone's hitmen target her in Chicago. A major draw is protagonist Annette's wide range of actions, with a reported 150 different animation patterns. The reviewer notes her movement is impressively realistic, almost jarringly so. Basic actions include attacking with a boomerang, a high-speed dash, jumps with variable height depending on button press duration, and magic attacks that require charging. The page features the game logo, an illustration of Annette, and screenshots demonstrating these core movements. The reviewer seems impressed with the game's detailed presentation and diverse character abilities. This page dives into the first stage of El Viento, set in Chicago City, the home turf of the Al Capone family. As highlighted on the previous page, the action is fast-paced, moving between buildings with vertical platforming, and the difficulty is high, with enemies quickly leading to a game over if you're not careful. The page details some of the challenges you'll face. You'll encounter hitmen, and even a gang in a vintage car that must be defeated to progress. A particularly memorable enemy type are the crazy climber antis, who pop out of windows while you're scaling buildings, throwing items at you. Their motivations are humorously speculated upon, perhaps related to stress or their husbands' jobs. Hidden health-restoring items, the yellow medicine, are mentioned as crucial for survival. Finally, the Stage 1 boss is revealed to be a massive mafia-controlled tank. It has 3 distinct attack patterns that change as it takes damage, requiring players to adapt by ducking cannon fire, jumping over specific bombs, and getting close to avoid machine gun blasts. The page provides screenshots demonstrating these different attack phases. This page transitions to Stage 2 of El Viento, taking place in Mount Rushmore National Park. The story setup involves a Minette heading to the museum there, based on Al Capone's guidance, with visual demos advancing the plot between stages. However, the developers note the stage itself isn't a museum, humorously adding that players shouldn't overthink it, as it's an action game filled with tricky elements. The stage begins with a choice between an upper path, leading to a conveyor belt area where you should ignore a trampoline, or a lower path involving a trampoline jump and encountering a boss-like structure. The gameplay experience is described as having a field athletic feel, emphasizing complex terrain over enemy density, where a single misstep can lead to significant damage. The text highlights challenges like navigating crumbling platforms, moving structures, and spike areas requiring subtle control. The boss introduced is Restiana, identified not as a true rival, but merely a sacrifice for Hastur's return. She attacks with abilities resembling radiant beams, and combat occurs on difficult, unstable terrain. Players are advised to continuously attack her with Annette's weapons, like boomerangs and fireballs, with the text confidently stating the protagonist will ultimately prevail. The page concludes by summarizing the coverage of stages 1 and 2, praising the game's incredible visuals, particularly the anime sequences. It notes that Annette's challenges persist as enemy attacks become more intense, stressing that there's no retreat despite the escalating difficulty and her tribulations. This page provides a story recap for El Viento, setting the scene in 1925 New York. The text explains that Annette, a girl living in a church in NY, disappeared after receiving a mysterious jewel from Father Meyer. This jewel is key to breaking the seal of the ancient evil god Hastur, and the dark organization known as the Hastur cult is closing in on a SEGA to seize it as they plot Hastur's revival. The large panel depicts the New York Hudson River port, which appears to be the location for this part of the story. The game title, El Viento, is displayed prominently over the detailed cityscape and docks. Production credits for this manga adaptation are listed on the right. The bottom panel shows Annette waking up, lying on the ground. Someone, seemingly accompanied by a horse whose hoof is visible, is calling out to her, urging her to wake up. Annette responds groggily as the narrative continues. This page continues the story of El Viento, showing Annette waking up at the port, covered in pigs, and being told to get off by a man, to which she reacts with surprise and protest. The scene transitions to Annette, standing by a ship, looking distressed as heavy smoke billows from the vessel's stack. She calls out to Father, likely Father Meyer from the previous page, and then contemplates her dire situation, wondering what she should do next. The visuals emphasize the setting at the Hudson River port, continuing the narrative after Annette's disappearance with the mysterious jewel. This page continues the story, showing Annette from El Viento at the port. She looks surprised, perhaps startled by a sound effect and the appearance of a playing card, the ace of spades. She is then approached by a man with long, wavy hair who comments on her somber mood, saying she looks down. He asks if something is troubling her and offers to tell her fortune, perhaps hinting at his abilities or a more sinister nature with the card imagery. Annette, however, declines his offer, indicating she is fine. This scene further develops the narrative, following her arrival at the Hudson River port after the events depicted on the previous page. This page continues the story from El Viento, showing Annette reacting with surprise, perhaps startled by a sound effect. A Joker playing card is shown, suggesting the presence of the mysterious card-wielding man introduced on the previous page. Annette exclaims in shock, realizing that this person is also pursuing the father's gem. The perspective then shifts to show the man with the eye patch holding a checkered card, commenting, "I see," and noting that the person, likely Annette, is fast on their feet. The scene depicts a chase or a quick escape related to the sought-after gem, highlighting the card-wielding man as a rival or antagonist in Annette's quest. This page continues the El Viento story, showing Annette in a warehouse area. She appears startled, reacting to the presence of the mysterious card-wielding man introduced on the previous page. A playing card, likely a joker, floats near her, emphasizing his involvement. Annette exclaims in surprise, questioning his appearance here. The perspective shifts to the man, who has an eye patch and holds a checkered card, observing a Annette. He seems slightly exasperated, commenting that she's making things troublesome for him. The scene captures a tense moment in the chase for the father's gem, portraying the card man as a calm but determined antagonist challenging Annette. This page continues the story of El Viento, showing Annette in a heated confrontation. She is visibly distressed and asks the mysterious antagonist why he is after the gem. The long-haired, eye-patch-wearing man responds coldly, stating that asking him is pointless and that he is simply doing his job, implying he has no personal stake but is acting on behalf of someone else. The panels depict Annette's shock and the intensity of the situation, suggesting a struggle or escape is underway as the antagonist remains focused on his objective. The next page continues the dramatic confrontation from El Viento. The mysterious antagonist, examining the target of his search, remarks on the gemstone's peculiar nature and questions its value. Annette, injured and desperate, observes the scene. Suddenly, the gem appears to absorb something, staining its surface before erupting with a powerful, blinding light. Both the antagonist and Annette are visibly shocked by this unexpected transformation, suggesting a critical turning point in the pursuit of the gem and its secrets. The next page plunges further into the dramatic confrontation from El Viento. The scene depicts intense action as the antagonist delivers a powerful blow, eliciting painful reactions like "Ugwa" and "Gah." Annette appears shocked and questions the situation with a simple "What?" Simultaneously, the antagonist reacts to something concerning the gemstone, exclaiming, "The gem is," directly referencing the mysterious events that transpired on the previous page. The panels capture the dynamic movement and impact of the attack, emphasizing the escalating peril. The next page continues the brutal fight scene in El Viento, showing the impact of the antagonist Restation's attack on Annette is struck with force, letting out a cry of pain and shock. "Ugh! Ah!" she also exclaims. "Watch out!" reacting to the dangerous turn of events. The panel is filled with dynamic lines and sound effects conveying the intensity of the blow. The scene then transitions to show the aftermath, with Annette lying on the ground, emphasizing the severity of the confrontation and the perilous situation she is now in. The next page continues the dramatic events of El Viento, picking up after Annette's perilous encounter with the assassin Restation shown on the previous page. The top panel depicts Restion observing Annette, who is down, with text indicating Annette had just saved the assassin's life, leading into the tease for the next installment. "Next time, Annette in danger!" Below this, a large "To Next Stage" banner signifies the game's progression. The lower section shifts focus to an El Viento Club Volume 2 feature, titled Annette's Secret 2. This seems to be a character profile or fan-focused content, presented in a Annette's voice, continuing an introduction from a previous issue. It touches upon what might happen next in El Viento, and mentions the Haster cult, promising more details. Alongside this is a fun breakdown of Annette's attributes and abilities. It points out details like her surprisingly good vision, 2.7 total, the crucial role of her bandana for using magic, her ability to effortlessly throw large boomerangs despite her build, and her incredible jumping height in the game, 5 meters, calling it abnormal. There's also a slightly cheeky note about her physique for a 17-year-old. This section gives fans a closer look at the heroine's unique traits. This page is a comprehensive mail-order advertisement from the store Hop, showcasing a wide array of consoles and games available for sale, including popular systems like the Super Famicom, Famicom, Game Boy, PC Engine, Lynx, Game Gear, and Mega Drive, listed with discounted prices and ordering details valid for August. This page is an advertisement from the Sega specialty store Santa, showcasing their offerings for Game Gear and Mega Drive systems. You can pick up a Game Gear console for 13,500 yen, or a Mega Drive console for 11,600 yen, along with various options like cables and batteries. Santa features new Mega Drive releases with special prices, such as Outrun, Galaxy Force 2, Populous, and Kushin Baseball League 91, alongside upcoming titles like Megatrax, Dinoland, Jewel Master, El Viento, and Beast Warriors. There's also a massive selection of existing Mega Drive software available at dedicated sale prices, featuring classics like Thunder Force 2i, Streets of Rage, Strider, Altered Beast, and many others across different price tiers. For those with a Mark IIi or Master System adapter, a wide range of compatible software is also listed, including titles like Alex Kidd and Miracle World, Fantasy Zone, Golden Axe, and Strida Type, some available at very low prices. Ordering is done via phone or mail with cash on delivery, and shipping costs apply, varying by region. Santa emphasizes confirming prices and stock by phone and offers a membership program with benefits. It's a comprehensive catalog for Sega fans looking to expand their collection. This page delves into the history of Sega's character games, highlighting their perceived high level of completion and appeal. The feature, titled All That Sega Character Graffiti, takes a look back at Sega's diverse cast over the years, from the early arcade hits to the dominant Mega Drive era. It begins with the birth period, featuring classic arcade characters like Pengo, Flicky, and the original Ninja Princess. The representative character birth period showcases the foundational heroes of major Sega franchises, including Space Harrier, Opa from Fantasy Zone, Joe Musashi of Shinobi, Alex Kidd, and the star of Wonder Boy. Moving into the Mark IIi character period, the focus shifts to games like Quartet and several licensed tines popular at the time, including Zillion, Rocky, and Sukaban Deka 2. The largest section covers the Mega Drive character period, illustrating the console's vast library. This era saw the continuation of series like Phantasy Star and Golden Axe, alongside numerous licensed titles such as Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Rambo 2i, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, Joe Montana Football, and Dick Tracy. It also features original IPs like Bonanza Bros. And Shining in the Darkness, culminating with the revolutionary debut of Sonic the Hedgehog, a pivotal moment in Sega's character history. The page demonstrates Sega's long-standing commitment to character-driven games across different genres and platforms. This page kicks off a look at Sega's history with character games, starting with the arcade side. It discusses how characters became central to game success, moving from early titles like 73's Pong Clone and the 82-hit Pengo, which really established the idea of named characters players could connect with. The impact of Namco's character games like Pac-Man and Dig Dug is also highlighted as setting a precedent. Around 86, Sega's arcades hit a stride, churning out games with strong original characters. Think Space Harrier, with its Hero Harrier, Fantasy Zone's Opa, and the 4 heroes of Quartet. These distinctive personalities significantly boosted Sega's profile at the time. The industry overall saw a character fever sparked by games like Super Mario. Later, the arcade scene also embraced licensed characters from movies and other media. Sega's Michael Jackson's Moonwalker is shown as a prime example of this trend. A timeline on the right charts key character game releases from 1978 to 1987 across various platforms, illustrating the evolution from early arcade pioneers to the diverse output of the mid to late 80s, including a golden age period rich with character-driven hits and a subsequent lull. It also notes that recently, companies like Konami, with games like TMNT, and Capcom, with titles like UN Squadron, have been particularly strong in the character game space. This page dives into Sega's character game strategy specifically for home consoles, contrasting it with their arcade success. Sega heavily relied on licensed characters, particularly from TV and manga, like Fist of the North Star on the Mark II's, Zillion, and even sports figures like Joe Montana. This approach was seen as a way to leverage established popularity to help sell hardware. However, Sega also pursued original characters. They took successful arcade stars like Space Harrier and Opa and brought them to consoles, while also attempting to create new mascots like Alex Kidd and the characters from the Phantasy Star series. The article notes that Sega's original attempts struggled to gain the same iconic status as Nintendo's Mario, with Alex Kidd being cited as a prime example that didn't quite hit the mark. More recently, Sega has turned to international licenses like Mickey Mouse and the upcoming Spider-Man, which seem to have found greater success. The page concludes by highlighting Sonic the Hedgehog as the culmination of Sega's character creation efforts, possessing the potential to finally stand toe-to-toe with Mario. A timeline on the left lists various character games released between 1988 and 1991 across multiple platforms, illustrating the widespread character game output during this period. This page delves into the world of Sega's character games from an international perspective, building on the previous discussion. It features a Q&A section addressing things like the increase in overseas games being ported to the Mega Drive, noting it's driven by market needs. It also touches upon the possibility of more Master System games coming to Japan, suggesting it's unlikely for most titles, as the focus is shifting to 16-bit development. The article praises the overseas reception of Sonic the Hedgehog and touches on the development of the Mickey Mouse game being handled by a French team, which gave it a different feel than typical Japanese titles. A dedicated section highlights how Japanese characters are sometimes drastically altered for overseas release, showing examples like Fist of the North Star on the Master System being renamed Black Belt and having its characters completely changed. It also showcases the game Decap Attack, which features bizarre character designs. The page then previews upcoming Disney titles on the Genesis/Mega Drive, specifically Fantasia and Donald Duck, noting Fantasia's development team in France resulted in a distinct, cinematic feel worthy of the movie inspiration, while Donald Duck is mentioned as also being in development. Screenshots of these games, as well as examples like Alf and Spy vs. Spy on the Master System, illustrate the range of licensed content Sega was producing for different markets. This page dives into Sega's domestic character games through an interview with Mr. Aoki of the planning division. He discusses the evolution of the Phantasy Star series, explaining how changing market needs led to different approaches for each title, and the shift in art style for Phantasy Star II was due to a team change, aiming for a more arcade feel. He also touches on the status of Alex Kidd, noting he's less prominent in Japan but still popular overseas on the Master System. Overall, Sega aims for multimedia expansion using characters, citing Sonic as a prime example. A significant portion chronicles the sprawling and often confusing history of the Wonder Boy/Monster World series across various platforms, highlighting its numerous entries under different names. It then focuses on the newest game, known here as Monster World 2i, Wonder Boy in Monster World internationally. Screenshots showcase its vibrant graphics and RPG elements like equipment management. The game is described as taking place centuries after Monster Lair, featuring a new hero, Xion, who must save the world from a return of monsters, blending classic action with modern RPG mechanics for both series fans and newcomers. The page includes screenshots from the Master System version of Fist of the North Star, illustrating the drastic character changes discussed previously, as well as images from the Phantasy Star series and the latest Wonder Boy title. This page focuses on the Sega Drive, highlighting software and peripheral developments for the unique system, which combined a Mega Drive and an IBM PC. The lead story announces the upcoming release of the first construction game for the Drive, titled Puzzle Construction. Screenshots demonstrate the game's robust editor, allowing users to customize game rules, graphics, and even sounds, offering a deep level of creative control for designing puzzle challenges that can be played on the Mega Drive side after configuration on the PC side. The page also covers convenient peripherals, specifically detailing the ability to connect hard drives using a mini SCSI interface. This is presented as a solution for the growing size of modern games, many of which require hard disk installation, particularly relevant for the PC side of the TerraDrive. A new mini CC product from Micromouse is mentioned for this purpose. Finally, there's a discussion on the increasing popularity of overseas PC games and the welcome trend of including Japanese manuals, addressing a common hurdle for players, with Micromouse again noted for providing manuals for popular action and simulation titles. An example of such a game, Secret Weapons of the Luftwaffe, is shown. This page covers upcoming software releases, highlighting a notable IBM PC title and 2 games scheduled for the Mega CD, along with updates on a game library service. Featured is the adventure game Rise of the Dragon for IBM PCs, set in a futuristic, gritty Los Angeles, where a detective investigates a murder connected to a large conspiracy. The article praises its realistic graphics and character expressions that change during conversations, creating an immersive, movie-like atmosphere for deduction. For the Mega CD, SimEarth is discussed as a deep simulation game based on the Gaia theory, challenging players to evolve a planet by managing complex geological, biological, climate, and civilization parameters. It's described as the ultimate simulation experience. The page also provides an update on a game library service, announcing the addition of new titles. Among these are the quiz game Biddlewired, available from July 31st, featuring 4 choice questions and various rules within the game. Also being added is Phantasy Star IV Rudger's Adventure, starting in August, noted as a release many users have been waiting for. Finally, a brief information panel references the previous issue's coverage of the construction game Pyramid Magic Construction, a game mentioned for the TerraDrive on the prior page, and includes comments from Sega representatives. It also makes a call for user contributions. This page introduces the Taito vertical scrolling shooter, Master of Weapon, for the Sega Mega Drive. Scheduled for release on September 27th with a suggested price of 6,800 yen, excluding tax. The game challenges players to clear all 9 stages to defeat the evil computer, the God System, and restore peace to the world. Presented as a near-future 3D shooting game, the page features artwork depicting a futuristic spacecraft battling over a city. Screenshots showcase the gameplay, including Stage 1, which highlights various items and power-ups, and Stage 2, set in a wasteland, revealing a massive stone statue face that serves as the enemy's God System boss. The game promises unstoppable fun. This page features the Sega Mega Drive beat-em-up game, Growl, known as Runark in Japan. The artwork depicts the protagonists in a jungle setting alongside animals like elephants, gorillas, and antelopes, emphasizing the game's theme of saving beloved animals. Scheduled for release on November 15th, with a suggested price of 6,800 yen, the game is presented as a new Hero is Born game. It promises unstoppable excitement, comparing the thrilling action to a movie. Players take on the role of the king of martial arts, unleashing punches and kicks to defeat villains and restore peace. Screenshots showcase the side-scrolling action, highlighting combat and mentioning specific enemies like a grenade-throwing woman and an Arabian whip user. This page introduces a special project from BeepMD magazine, commemorating their 3rd anniversary plus 1 month. Titled BeepMD's Ambition, this section begins with a shopping quest feature, where a mysterious group called the Kappa UGI Squad is tasked with acquiring a Neo Geo and a white Game Gear. The quest isn't straightforward, as they immediately encounter an obstacle at point 1, the BeepMD Deputy Editor-in-Chief Kondo, who blocks their path and demands they answer his quiz to proceed. The article outlines the quiz system, explaining that successfully answering questions allows progress and leads to grand prizes like the Neo Geo and Game Gear White. However, failing a quiz round results in a game over, but still offers a chance to win consolation prizes provided by game manufacturers, shown in an image featuring various cartridges and a Neo Geo stick. The Kappa UGI squad members, Tomei and Unya, are briefly introduced with humorous descriptions, highlighting their personalities before they face the Deputy Editor-in-Chief's challenge. This feature combines a narrative quest with interactive quiz elements for the readers. This page continues the BeepMD quest, where the Kappa UGI squad faces more challenges. At point 2, visiting Kodansha in Ichigaya, they encounter trouble and must answer a quiz about the game Blue Almanac. Failing results in a game over but a chance to win gaming merchandise. Moving to point 3, due to getting lost, they find themselves at Wolf Team in Kita Otsuka. Here, they meet someone dressed as Doraemon and face a quiz covering games like El Viento and Arcus Odyssey. Another game over means winning consolation prizes related to El Viento. Finally, at point 4, still in Kita Otsuka at Riot Japan Telecom, they meet a person named Yoshioka, who gives them a quiz on titles, including Valis, 2i, Gaiares, and Exile. Failure here also leads to a game over, with Exile-related postcards and crowds as prizes. The quest involves navigating locations, encountering characters, and answering game trivia to proceed or receive prizes upon failure. The next page continues the B Mega Quest, following the Kappa UGI squad on their journey. At point 5 in Minami Ikebukuro, after getting lost, they encounter a man who proposes playing a mahjong game called Gyanjiki in exchange for directions. If they clear the quiz related to the game, they get directions and time to relax with ice cream. If they fail, it's game over, and 3 readers can win a decorative lantern. Moving to point 6 in Nishi Azabu, they meet a representative from NCS carrying a Manta plushie. They face a quiz focusing on NCS games, including questions about the strategy RPG Langrisser. Successfully answering the quiz allows them to proceed, while failure results in a game over, offering 5 readers a chance to win a copy of Langrisser. Finally, point 7 takes them to the Okita ward in Yaguchi. Here, Takuime's attempt to pick up a girl is interrupted by a Namco employee. They are then challenged with a quiz about Namco games, featuring titles like Furios, WrestleBall, known as Power Moves internationally, and Marvel Land, released as Talmud's Adventure on Genesis. Clearing this quiz allows them to move on, while a game over offers 20 readers a Namcot Family Circuit 91 bandana as a prize. The quest continues to test the duo's game knowledge and navigating skills across various locations. The Kappa UGI squad continues their quest, facing challenges at each point. At point 8, SNK in Higashi Kamata, they buy a Neo Geo but encounter a quiz mimicking Noriko. Success allows them to proceed. Failure results in a game over, with readers winning a memory card. Point 9 in Haneda takes them to Sega, where they must acquire a GG White. Obtaining it triggers a Sonic quiz. Passing allows them to advance. Failure means a game over, and a chance for readers to win a Sonic plushie. At point 10, B Mega. They present their items to the editor-in-chief, only to face a final quiz. Passing this ultimate test signifies success, while failure means a game over and a CD Walkman giveaway for readers. The quest tests their gaming knowledge and determination. This page features a special quiz celebrating the Sega Mega Drive and Game Gear's 3rd anniversary plus 1 month, titled the MD/GG Champion Decisive Battle. The main content is a large table listing various game manufacturers, their first game released on either the Mega Drive or Game Gear, and a specific trivia question related to that manufacturer or game. The page showcases the wide range of developers who supported the platforms, from established names like Taito and Namco to smaller studios. The quiz questions are specific and challenging, testing deep knowledge of the history and details surrounding these early releases. For example, it asks about the high score in Devil's Crush, or trivia related to specific game mechanics or company history. There's also a section explaining how readers can submit their answers to participate in the quiz and win prizes, linking it to another ongoing contest. This feature serves as both a celebration of the console's history and an interactive challenge for the magazine's readers. This page details the extensive prizes available for readers participating in the magazine's contests, including the Shopping Quest and the MDGG King Decisive Battle. The top section showcases premium prizes like a Neo Geo console, a limited edition white Game Gear bundle with a TV tuner, and unique collector's items like a Game Arts seal. The main part of the page is a massive list of prizes contributed by numerous game developers who released titles on the Mega Drive and Game Gear. Readers could win games such as Tough Turf, Street Smart, Master of Monsters, and Pyramid Magic Special, alongside a wide variety of merchandise like a Zero Wing keychain, Technogirls telecards, plush toys, Psygnosis t-shirts, and even a Game Gear wide vision accessory. It highlights the strong support these platforms receive from many companies, offering fans a chance to grab rare items or classic software. The magazine's own editorial team is also giving away SoftBank books. This page features the Hyper Technology column, this time in Volume 6, penned by Agi Nihyaku. Exploring the world of pointing devices. The author starts by musing on the suitability of different controllers for different systems, comparing the Mega Drive gamepad with using a gamepad on the IBM PC side of the Terra, Sega's PC Mega Drive hybrid, The core of the article discusses how gamepads and joysticks excel in action games, where direction and timing are key, often using digital input. However, for tasks requiring precision, like using graphic tools on the Terra running Windows 3.0, the author argues that gamepads just aren't sufficient. This leads into a discussion of pointing devices like the mouse and trackball, highlighting their analog feel, even if implemented digitally, and precision needed for tasks like drawing or pointing at screen elements. The article delves into the history of these devices, showing images of what appears to be the very first wooden mouse developed by Douglas Engelbart in the 1960s. Contrasting it with a modern wireless mouse and an EMAC trackball, the author reflects on how these devices, particularly the mouse, have become essential despite the initial awkwardness of early designs. Ultimately, the piece encourages readers to explore the world of pointing devices if they get their hands on a Terra, suggesting they look beyond just gaming controllers for different computing tasks. This page features the Game Designer's Domain column by Naoto Kadokura, focusing on the lyricism brought by time in games. The article explores the idea of incorporating realistic temporal changes into virtual worlds, such as seasonal shifts depicted through graphics and sound. The author notes that while software developers might initially resist due to memory constraints, these elements are crucial for enhancing the player's sense of reality and emotional connection to the game environment. The discussion covers various time-based concepts already appearing in RPGs and simulations, including day-night cycles, characters aging, shop inventories changing, and even the evolution of societies or ecosystems. The column emphasizes the importance of depicting the seasons through environmental details, like plants, weather, and the sky. It also delves into the fascinating concept of the relativity of time within games, suggesting that varying the perceived flow of time based on the player's context could offer deeply immersive experiences. The author hints at possibilities, like playing multiple characters, or controlling a single character across different points in their life or history. The page includes a quirky illustration of a cowboy figure with star badges accompanied by stylized cacti. This page features the second part of the Sound Club, Game Music Gentleman's Record series, interviewing Izuho Aki, a prolific musician involved in both game soundtracks and the idol industry. The main focus is on his experiences with the Mega CD platform, which he describes as offering a sense of accomplishment. Aki discusses his music production methods, contrasting direct input and MML with MIDI, and explains his preference for different sound sources like FM and PCM, highlighting the strengths of FM sound, particularly the FM3 plus SSG configuration. He notes that Sounddrom platforms like the Mega CD and PC Engine Sounddrom offer significant advantages over cartridge systems like the MegaDrive, due to fewer memory and voice count limitations, making composition easier and allowing for higher quality arrangements, including full songs. He reflects on the difference between creating music for games versus standalone releases, noting the need to balance creative ideas with the game's atmosphere. Aki also comments on the state of game music, suggesting that some current compositions can be repetitive, and that employing professional musicians could lead to more distinctive and higher quality results, although this might limit the composer's total control over the sound design. The page includes a photograph of a shaki at a keyboard. This page continues the interview with musician Izuho Aki from the previous page. He shares insights on avoiding repetitive compositions by listening to a wide variety of music, not just game scores. When asked about game music he enjoys outside his own work, he specifically praises the soundtrack for Amaranth, particularly the versions found on the X68000, noting the unique arrangements. The page also features a review section for new game music releases. Reviewed albums include the soundtracks for Wizardry Gaiden 1, Suffering of the Queen, Game Boy, Final Soldier, PC Engine, which features band arrangements, the Thunder Zone compilation from Data East Games by Gamadelic, Final Fantasy II-I, Super Famicom, featuring original sound sources, music from Strike Fighter by Sega's ST Band, a compilation from SD Gundam Gashapon Senshi Games, The Mystic Quest, Game Boy known as Seiken Densetsu in Japan, soundtrack, and the music from Cotton. The reviews highlight the varying quality and types of releases, from original sound sources to full band arrangements. In the news section, Pony Canyon, in partnership with Citron, is launching a new multimedia label called Plamage Label, aimed at fans of shoujo manga and novels, planning releases like videos, crids, and game content. A sound-action RPG game, titled Chiso Kaikyu Ukoku, is also featured, playable on home CD players. This page features the 9th installment of the TV game market Frontline series, focusing on developer GameArts and their strong commitment to the upcoming Mega CD platform. Written by Jam Ojisan, Yasuda Yoshiki, the article includes an interview with GameArts president Yoichi Miyagi. The discussion covers Sega's performance and the establishment of the Genesis in the American market, following the recent CES show. Noting positive energy and significant third-party support, including Electronic Arts releasing 14 titles simultaneously. Miyagi explains GameArts' philosophy for Mega CD development, emphasizing creating games from a user's perspective and fully utilizing the hardware's capabilities. The article previews two of their planned Mega CD titles, the strategy game Tenka Fubu and the RPG Lunar, the Silver Star. Screenshots of both games are shown, and it's noted they leverage the Mega CD's enhanced sound features. GameArts expresses confidence in their lineup and its potential to make their Mega CD releases stand out. This page continues the discussion with GameArts president Yoichi Miyagi, focusing on their strategy for the Mega CD. GameArts is heavily invested in the platform, aiming to create high-value titles that utilize the CD's potential, particularly for video and high-quality audio like voice acting and sound effects, exemplified by games like Lunar, the Silver Star. They emphasize creating immersive experiences. The page also features a section highlighting the Genesis title, Elysia Dragoon. The developer notes that while past efforts were focused on shooters, they are now shifting focus to action-oriented games like Elysia Dragoon. They aim for an exhilarating action game, focusing on elements like effectively using Elysia's lightning attack and improving controls. Finally, a comment from the author expresses strong anticipation for GameArts' upcoming Mega CD software, believing they will deliver groundbreaking titles that define the platform and challenge the industry. This page features the Beeple Land Letters section, where readers share their thoughts, with this month's discussion focusing heavily on the newly unveiled Mega CD. Excitement is high for the hardware's impressive specs, but users are eager for Sega to build a strong and diverse software library quickly. Many hope to see enhanced remakes and compilations that take advantage of the Creed's capabilities, such as a collection of the Phantasy Star trilogy, or improved versions of arcade hits like Afterburner 2, Ghouls and Ghosts, Forgotten Worlds, Darius 2, and Furios. The page also highlights November's theme regarding MegaDrive ports, prompted by the release of Outrun. Readers emphasize the importance of bringing over major arcade titles like Glock, Rad Mobile, Night Striker, and Legend of Valkyrie to showcase the MegaDrive's power, now further enhanced by the Mega CD. Some voice concerns about the console's color limitations compared to rivals, but stress that compelling software utilizing the CD's sound and scaling features is paramount. There's a strong desire for Sega to leverage its classic library with compilations and remakes to draw in players. This page features the Beeple Land section titled Freely Speak About Games, showcasing reader letters and illustrations covering various titles. Readers share their experiences and opinions, with one discussing the depth and satisfaction derived from the strategy game Advanced Military Strategy, highlighting its campaign mode and desire for more simulations using its system. Another letter critiques Axe Battler, a Legend of Golden Axe, finding its progression somewhat linear but acknowledging improvements over the original Golden Axe. They praise the password system but also wish for more effort in game endings, specifically mentioning developer Wolf Team. Interspersed are vibrant illustrations submitted by readers, depicting popular and desired games. These include fan art for Dragon's Fury, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Notably, there's an illustration for Record of Lodoss War expressing hope for a MegaDrive port, and a striking drawing of Chun-Li from Street Fighter II with a clear plea for a port to the Mega CD, tying into the ongoing discussion about the new hardware's potential. The page captures the diverse interests and hopes of MegaDrive fans regarding current releases and future possibilities, reflecting the excitement around ports and the evolving game landscape. This page continues the Beeple Land section with reader feedback under the title, Want to Say to Chokai, presented alongside a rather odd illustration of a butchered pig. Readers weigh in on various topics. One suggests a CD station concept for the Mega CD to provide cheaper games on smaller discs. Another proposes Sega develop a serious sumo game to showcase Japanese culture globally, while also criticizing a game titled Gan Gulbi for its questionable taste that could damage Sega's corporate image. A third reader inquires about the possibility of a master system to Mega CD adapter to expand the available software library. The Bin Bin Talk section includes a reader noting that the Mega Drive title Super Thunderblade is clearly based on the Blue Thunder movie, which earns them recognition. Additionally, it's revealed that the sound effects for Darius 2 and the game likely known as Sylphia were handled by the same sound designer. A brief question discusses the feasibility of using the Game Gear screen as a monitor for the Mega Drive. The page features an image related to the Blue Thunder movie and Super Thunderblade. This page features the Beepland reader section, opening with a 4-panel manga comic titled 4, starring the mascots Mega CD-kun and MD-kun. The comic appears to humorously depict the relationship between the Mega Drive and its CD add-on, perhaps touching on the expanded capabilities of the Mega CD or the need for the base unit. Below the manga is a reader's comment from Akachi Prefecture discussing this dynamic. The page includes an apologies for the August issue section, where corrections are made for the previous month. Specifically, it notes that the game title on page 100 should have been Arslan Senki, the heroic legend of Arslan, and on page 120, the input for test run viewing was B button plus right plus start. Following this is the announcement of the July issue present winners, listing readers who won various prizes, including specific game titles like Marvel Land, Advanced Daisen Ryaku, Fastest One, Super Airwolf, Ryukyu, Shikinjo, Technosoft CD, Wolf Team Goods, and Super Volleyball. Readers also won game software and book coupons. The bottom section outlines different sections for reader submissions. These include corners for general opinions on games, game I want to say, messages to the game industry, what I want to say to the game industry, general interesting stories, Bin Bin Talk, questions for the staff or third parties, BeepMD question box, illustrations, illustration, and a place for heated complaints, I want to say anything. Readers are encouraged to send in their thoughts and creations. This page features the first part of an article titled Game Music, Something Like That Industry, penned by Mikano Kas. The author, presented as a seasoned creator in the field, sets out to expose the often baffling and strange phenomena occurring within the game music industry. The article delves into the state of music production in Japan, particularly within the new media realm of computer games. The author expresses a critical view, suggesting that the quality sometimes resembles that of low-budget adult video music, which they define as production costing less than 10 million yen. Specific issues highlighted include a lack of rhythm referred to as grooveless quantum mania, and painful audio characterized by harsh high and low frequencies, dubbed the Terror of Don Shari. The piece mentions other musical figures like Tetsuya Komuro, TMN, and the duo BZ in the context of comparing potential talent or industry trends. The author's own organization, Mikano Associates, is involved in various media projects beyond games, such as creds, commercials, and videos. They specifically mention involvement in titles like the action RPG Alicia Dragoon, the strategy game Tenka Fubu, the CD RPG Allshark, and the video production Peacock King 3. The article promises to continue exploring the industry's challenges and the experiences of creators. This page introduces the Combo AV, a device by Kyow International designed to let you enjoy arcade games on your home TV, bringing the arcade feeling home. Kyow International, with 10 years in the game board business, is aiming to make this hobby accessible not just to dedicated enthusiasts, but to general users too. The article highlights that while consoles like the Mega Drive brought many arcade ports home with great graphics and sound, some still crave the original arcade experience. Combo AV provides a way to connect actual arcade boards to a standard television. For those interested in understanding the hardware, a DITY kit version is available, requiring basic tools like a screwdriver, pliers, and a soldering iron. Kyow International's president, Mr. Suzuki, explains the purpose behind the kit, hoping it helps people understand the hardware better. As a bonus, purchasing the Combo AV comes with items related to female wrestler Cutie Suzuki, including a manual and a history of video games list. The aim is to recapture that unique arcade atmosphere in your own home. This page continues the focus on Kyow International, celebrating their 10th anniversary and highlighting ongoing projects. They offer a limited edition first volume of The History of Video Games, a 50-page guide covering arcade games from 1972 to 1988, detailing lists of games, manufacturers, and release dates, available for 800 yen. For hardware enthusiasts, the Combo AV Die Kit is featured, allowing users to assemble their own unit to understand the mechanics. The completed Combo AV unit is detailed as a game-like special version, with standard features like a versatile joystick, high output power, auto trigger, and a high-performance video converter. A key innovation is the Columbus's egg function, enabling seamless switching between vertical and horizontal display modes for different game types on a standard TV, utilizing the same high-performance output IC as the Super Famicom for quality video output and video recording capability. The page also heavily advertises the sale of various commercial arcade boards, boasting a large stock available from 1,000 yen at their direct sales store. Additionally, they offer repair services for PCBs and control boxes, even for items purchased elsewhere. Finally, the page provides updated contact information for Skiao International's headquarters. This page introduces exciting new titles for the Mega CD under the banner Mega CD Press. It lists several anticipated games, including Tenkafubu, Lunar, Earnest Element, FHEY Area, Isle, Dark Wizard, Seima Densetsu, 3x3 Eyes, Nostalgia, Detonator Organ, and others. The main feature focuses on Tenkafubu, a Sengoku-era simulation game from GameArts, scheduled for release in the autumn. The article highlights how the game takes full advantage of the Mega CAD's capacity, boasting an impressive 1,200 historical commanders, each with unique character graphics and even family crests, a significant increase from the 400 originally planned for a cartridge release. The game also features 128 castles, 128 battlefields, and 52 provinces, demonstrating its scale. A notable production detail is the use of live-action video, sourced from TV dramas, for game demos like the opening and ending sequences. The page includes dynamic illustrations of historical figures and small screenshots depicting battle outcomes featuring famous names like Date Masamune and Imagawa Yoshimoto. A side note explains the meaning of the title, Tenkafubu, as unifying the realm by military force, an ambition famously associated with Oda Nobunaga, and shows a seal bearing the phrase. The overall tone expresses high anticipation for Tenkafubu and its detailed presentation. This page dives deeper into the features of Tenkafubu, highlighting the crucial human factor and environmental realism. The article explains how the game treats commanders not just as units, but as individuals whose loyalty is key. Neglect them, and they might betray you. It breaks down subordinates into categories like daimyo who surrendered, clan members, and the player-appointed vassals, showcasing the complex web of relationships. A table is shown detailing various vassals under Takeda Shingen, listing their stats and roles, emphasizing the importance of managing these individuals. Furthermore, the game simulates changes in weather, with the article describing how weather and time of day realistically affect the battlefield's appearance and gameplay. Screenshots depict various conditions, like light rain, heavy snow, fog, and different times of day. Finally, the page details the strategic importance of formations, illustrating 9 distinct types such as the fish scale, crane wing, and crescent moon formations, each offering different tactical advantages in battle. The level of detail in simulating these elements really brings the Sengoku era to life. This page delves into the combat mechanics of Tenkafubu, emphasizing the diverse battles with unique characteristics for each force. Unlike typical strategy games, combat uses a hex system, but the number of units you can move in a single turn isn't fixed, adding an unpredictable element to strategy. Forces are divided into 3 types: Ashigaru, infantry; Kiba, cavalry; and Teppu, firearms, each with distinct strengths and weaknesses. The article highlights the cavalry, noting their enhanced breakthrough power in this game, which can inflict significant damage akin to a critical hit in an RPG. Screenshots depict dynamic cavalry battles between Tokugawa Ieyasu and Takeda Shingen's forces. Furthermore, the page praises the immense historical detail in the game, made possible by the Klydrom format. It notes that the developers gathered vast amounts of historical documents and even researched real battlefields using detailed topographic maps, suggesting players might learn a great deal about history just by playing. Screenshots show strategic map views, indicating unit movement range, and a detailed, historically accurate battlefield map. The game encourages players to fully appreciate the power of the Cavalry Corps. This page showcases Lunar, the silver star for the Sega CD, highlighting that it offers an RPG world not possible on cartridge format. The game's primary appeal is its anime-like continuous narrative. The story starts in a quiet mountain village with Alex, a boy who admires the legendary Dragon Master Dyne, drawn by the desire to emulate his hero and visit the cave where Dyne once ventured. Alex sets off on an adventure with his childhood friend Luna and another companion after finding a worn-out weapon at home. The page also points out the impressive production staff, noting that the character designs are handled by Toshiyuki Kubuka, known for Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, while the scenario for demo scenes is done by Toshiki Hirano, director of the silent Mobius movie. Screenshots include a beautiful illustration of Alex and Luna looking out over a landscape towards a city under a large moon, and 2 pixel art in-game scenes showing dialogue and exploration. The developers at Game Arts even created their own animation tools to achieve the game's animated feel. This page delves further into Lunar, the Silver Star, featuring a striking illustration by Toshiyuki Kubuka. On the right, it introduces key characters. Alex, the 15-year-old protagonist admired by Dyne. Luna, Alex's childhood friend whose singing has magical power. Ramus, the village chief's son and Alex's friend. Cunning and the one who invites Alex to the Dragon Cave. And Null, a winged cat-like creature raised like a sibling to Alex and Luna who doesn't participate in battles. The bottom section highlights the game's unique battle system, described as a dynamic and realistic combat screen. While command input is used, it emphasizes a fuzzy auto-command mode powered by AI for a more relaxed experience, or detailed real-time commands for those who prefer precision. The screenshots showcase the battle scene perspective and an example of a magic attack, noted for its visual impact. The variety of magic spells available in the RPG is also mentioned. This page introduces the action game Ernest Evans from Wolf Team. Scheduled for release on the Mega CD, the game follows the rugged archaeologist Ernest Evans on a quest to recover the Necronomicon. A major highlight discussed is the game's use of multi-jointed character sprites, which brings a unique, lifelike quality to the animations, whether it's jumping, running, or fighting. The protagonist himself is portrayed as a tough, 35-year-old adventurer, a departure from typical soft-spoken heroes. Screenshots showcase various actions, like using his whip-like weapon for combat and grappling, rolling on the ground, and climbing walls, emphasizing the dynamic movement system. The article also notes the use of CD-ROM for enhanced visual scenes and voice acting, promising a higher quality presentation. The game is described as a pure action title, with impressive visuals and smooth controls, recommending it for fans of the genre and anime or Japanese-dubbed foreign film enthusiasts. This page introduces Seirei Shinseki Feieria, an action RPG from Wolf Team, for the Mega CD. The striking feature highlighted is that this isn't an RPG where the terrain stays still. The environment is dynamic and changes based on events, something rarely seen before on this platform. The story begins with the 15-year-old prince of the Kingdom of Eldin, who must visit the family shrine for his coming-of-age ceremony in a world where spirits once maintained natural order. The game is described as a standard-style RPG, elevated by the Mega Crid's capabilities, focusing heavily on impressive animated event visuals. Beyond the high-quality animation, the key point is the changing terrain. Examples shown include the ground splitting and islands approaching, adding a sense of instability and immersion. Even the command-based battles emphasize presentation, with enemy sprites scaling and changing expressions, making combat feel more dynamic despite the input method. Visuals on the page include character artwork of the protagonist, screenshots demonstrating the dramatic terrain shifts like a town being split by a chasm, and designs for various monsters the player will face, such as an armored knight and a strange segmented creature. UI screenshots show item menus and battle layouts, noting the use of symbols for convenience. There's also a field map shot mentioning a relatively low encounter rate, with wandering monsters for more comfortable exploration. This focus on presentation and dynamic elements seems to be a signature of Wolf Team's CD titles. This page delves into Sega's upcoming Mega CD RPG, Dark Wizard, featuring an interview with Kenji Terada, the scenario supervisor renowned for his work on the early Final Fantasy games. Terada discusses the game's ambition, aiming for a multi-scenario structure with a story equivalent to 1,516 hours of anime, and blending traditional RPG elements with simulation aspects, highlighting the dynamic possibilities of the Mega CD hardware, similar to the dynamic environments seen in Faeria. The story summary hints at a rich fantasy world formed by elemental spirits, dealing with the fall of kingdoms and a hero's quest against ancient darkness. The page also showcases concept art for the game, including detailed character sketches, environmental designs, and a variety of fantastical monsters like griffins, hydras, and unicorns, emphasizing the visual quality and the large volume of animation being produced, exceeding 5,000 frames. Terracotta aims for Dark Wizard to be a title that stands alongside the Final Fantasy series. This page continues the deep dive into Dark Wizard on the Mega CD, focusing on the game's ambitious structure and the insights from scenario supervisor Kenji Terada. The core appeal lies in the multi-scenario system, allowing players to experience the game 8 times from the perspective of different protagonists. There are 8 Holy King types, balanced between male and female, and good and evil alignments, each leading their own unique story. The game is described as a formation RPG that blends traditional battles with simulation elements, such as managing cities and deploying troops, adding strategic depth. Terada discusses the origin of the name Dark Wizard and his vision for the game's narrative tone, aiming for a serious atmosphere. He highlights the extensive use of animation, planning for around 30 to 40 minutes of animated story sequences, and the ability to incorporate voice acting thanks to the Mega CD hardware. The page includes a photo of Terramata himself and a glimpse of his handwritten scenario scripts, emphasizing the significant effort going into the story and overall production. Terramata expresses his desire for the game to be a strong, engaging title that resonates with Mega Drive users. This page showcases 3x3 Eyes on the Mega CD, Sega's second major RPG title for the system, based on the popular manga by Yuzo Takada. The game aims to capture the original comic's appeal, heavily featuring its characters. A significant highlight is the extensive use of animation, boasting around 45 minutes of animated sequences throughout the game, incorporating voice acting. The storytelling is enhanced by a unique friend command system that allows for deeper interaction among characters, potentially aiding in solving puzzles or developing relationships. The game also introduces innovative dungeon exploration and battle systems. Dungeons combine overhead 3D perspectives with side view 2D sections that include action elements like jumping to navigate traps, aiming for an Indiana Jones feel. Battles utilize varied anime-style visuals. The game even features monsters designed by readers of Young Magazine, personally selected by the manga author, appearing alongside original creatures. The artwork includes a dynamic illustration of Pei and Yakumo flying, another of them together with a sword, storyboards for animation, and a collection of reader-submitted monster designs. Development was targeting a June release, promising fans the chance to meet Pei and Yakumo soon on Mega CD. This page features Hot B's first Mega CD title, Detonator Organ, an SF adventure game tied into an upcoming original video anime. The game uses a comic panel presentation style, punctuated by full animation sequences and voice acting by the anime cast. The story begins with the final battle on the moon, before shifting to Earth as alien invaders arrive, with character designs handled by Masami Kikuchi, known for his work on Borgman and Silent Mobius. Screenshots show the title screen, a command interface, and battle visuals, highlighting Hot B's ambition for this title. Also featured is Shieldwave's adventure game, Nostalgia, which is progressing well. Unlike Detonator Organ's futuristic setting, Nostalgia is set in the early 20th century, focusing on a suspenseful mystery unfolding on a luxury liner. The game follows a development process that starts with writing a full novel-like scenario. A Mega CD extra info section provides quick updates. Wolf Team is preparing an RPG tentatively titled Aleo. Compile has several projects underway, including copyright-related works and a shooting game, adding to their anticipated activity on the system given their PC history with titles like Disc Station. Shieldwave is also planning a sequel for Nostalgia and a follow-up action game to the Famicom hit Kukulon. Finally, Nippon Busan is set to release an F1 circus game that will utilize the Megacludes scaling and rotation capabilities. This page focuses on Sorcerer Kingdom, an RPG from Messiah, NCS. Following the unexpected success of Warsong, Messiah is placing their bets on Sorcerer Kingdom as their sole major release in the latter half of the year, scheduled for a November launch. The article highlights several key features of the game. It features realistic background art that makes the virtual adventure feel more immersive, noting that unlike some older RPGs, backgrounds change significantly between locations. Character growth is described as analog, moving away from simple experience point accumulation and mechanical level UPS, instead emphasizing skill improvement based on usage in battle. A notable departure from tradition is that monsters are visible walking on the field map, allowing players to potentially avoid encounters, and strategic retreat is possible, even if the party is in rough shape. Screenshots show the game's title screen and views of the field map, featuring both NPCs in a town area and monsters roaming in a grassy area. The right column indicates this is part 2 of a feature covering several games, including Master of the Monsters and Galaxy Force 2 among others. Sorcerer's Kingdom begins in Randell, a castle town serving as a central hub. Players must obtain permission from the king within the castle to begin their adventure. The town features essential shops, selling weapons and armor, though the final inventory might vary. The game's innovative battle system is highlighted, taking place directly on the map. Tactical movement and positioning are crucial, allowing for flanking maneuvers, but also vulnerability to enemy attacks. The system feels akin to a simulation, emphasizing strategic engagement. Early game monsters include the weak kobold and slime. The Minotaur is presented as a powerful foe to avoid close combat with. Further details on the game will be revealed in a future issue. This page focuses on the strategy game Master of Monsters. It's the final installment of the feature, diving into practical advice for the campaign mode and detailing the game's creatures. Scenario 3 is highlighted as a lengthy battle against 2 opponents, an enemy warlock to the north and a central sorcerer, with the player starting to the southwest. With a high turn limit, the recommended approach is to take time to strategically level up your monsters. A key strategic point is the limitation of the game's spirits, elementals, or summons, which cannot recover health within a scenario. This makes them valuable but fragile resources that must be used cautiously. Scenario 3 is noted for featuring powerful enemy monsters with strong magic from level 2 onwards, suggesting that using monsters with physical HP is crucial for tanking hits. The game features around 80 types of monsters in total. Understanding their leveling capabilities and characteristics is vital for efficient combat. A specific list is provided detailing several monster types that only level up a maximum of 2 times, such as Pegasus, Unicorn, Rock, Griffin, Manticore, Mermaid, Kraken, and Serpent, each with a brief note on their utility. E.g., Pegasus is fast and good for capturing towers, Mermaid is useful in sea battles. Mastering these distinctions will significantly improve your combat effectiveness. This guide focuses on strategic gameplay in Master of Monsters, particularly Scenario 3 and beyond. For Scenario 3, it recommends exploiting enemy monster clashes, allowing strong foes like Twinhead and Archdemon to weaken each other before finishing them with high experience units. Prioritize capturing towers with mobile units like Pegasus. Strong offensive units like Evolved Trolls and Gorgons are also crucial, and Fire Dragons are valuable in numbers. Future scenarios necessitate developing sea units such as Archangel, Siren, and Sea Dragon. Don't neglect land units, and diversify unit leveling. The guide also provides a list of monsters that can evolve 3 times, detailing their transformation paths and strengths, including units like Barbarians, Dragon Lords, and the Sea Serpent line. Screenshots illustrate stats and combat. This page features strategy guides for Scenarios 4 and 5 of Master of Monsters, alongside an interview about the game's music. Scenario 4 is highlighted for having only 2 territories but a very short 22-turn limit, emphasizing efficient movement. Scenario 5 focuses on the crucial task of quickly capturing the central island, advising players to defeat enemy units like Tentacles with Spirits and Mages with Mono Pegasus, while temporarily ignoring towers on surrounding smaller islands. A map graphic illustrates strategic monster movement paths for both the player, Warlock, and the AI, Summoner. The lower section includes an interview with Koichi Sugiyama, who served as music supervisor for the Mega Drive version. He discusses the challenge of finding composers who understand both music composition and video games, introducing the other composer who worked on the soundtrack, pictured with him. This page delves further into Master of Monsters, presenting an overview of the 14 standard maps included in the game. These maps, though varying slightly in layout or player count, directly influence the campaign mode scenarios. Mastering these standard layouts, including specific maps like Blue Island, Circle War, Moonland, and Desert Road, is essential, as they dictate which monsters will be crucial in different scenarios. Below, the interview with music supervisor Koichi Sugiyama continues. He emphasizes the importance of the music played during the opponent's turn, noting that players are often just waiting, so the music should be enjoyable. He describes incorporating various musical styles, including rock, classical, and baroque elements like fugues, to create the soundtrack. Sugiyama specifically praises the Sega Mega Drive version, stating it boasts the best sound and graphics compared to PC and other releases, and encourages players to experience it. This page focuses on the upcoming Mega Drive port of Apple's arcade shooter, Battleship Gamora. The reviewer expresses surprise at the player ship's initial large size, noting it gets even bigger, becoming super huge and capable of firing a devastating wave motion gun. This growth, linked to life-up items, suggests the ship is a biometal entity that shrinks if damaged. Gameplay features include beam and laser weapons, with the laser capable of a charge shot. Screenshots showcase the ship's varying sizes, enemy waves, and a boss encounter. A significant highlight is the inclusion of two distinct simultaneous two-player modes. The first is a standard co-op mode, where each player controls their own ship, 1P white, 2P red. The second is a unique mode, where one player controls the ship's movement, and the other controls the beam weapon's aiming cursor, offering a collaborative playstyle that the reviewer found quite effective. The page also includes a look at the game's configuration menu.
Battleship Gamora is slated for a September release at 7,500 yen.
This page details the power-up system and the unique life-based transformation mechanic of Battleship Gamora. The player ship, Gamora, grows through 3 distinct stages as its life gauge fills, becoming significantly larger and boosting the speed of its powerful charge shot, the wave motion gun. The article highlights the pros and cons of each stage, noting that while larger forms are more potent, they also make the ship an easier target. Beyond transformation, the game features useful power-ups like the auto beam for automatic targeting and firing, a speed-up item to increase movement speed, and attachable bits that fire lasers and offer a defensive barrier. This page focuses on the colossal scale of Gainug, highlighting that not only is your ship, Gamora, massive, as discussed previously, but so are the enemies you face. Even regular ones are huge, and the bosses are absolutely enormous and incredibly tough. The article reinforces that given these giant, durable foes, becoming as powerful as possible is essential. It also provides crucial advice on power-ups, building on the previous page's information. While bits can offer defense when picking up items, the smartest tactic is to use the auto beam. This lets your ship automatically target and fire, making it much easier to secure items while also providing defense and effortlessly taking down tough enemies. The page then breaks down the challenges of Stage 1. Starting as a standard sky area with ground elements, it warns that the difficulty ramps up significantly from the middle. Several screenshots illustrate specific points: basic enemies, bomb-dropping foes, a tricky mid-stage section, destructible rocks whose debris can damage you, making the auto beam particularly useful here, and finally, the stage boss. For the boss, a strategic tip is offered. Staying on the left side of the screen is recommended, suggesting that with good positioning, you might even be able to defeat it without needing to actively dodge its attacks. This page dives into the intense challenges of Stages 2 and 3 in Wings of War. Stage 2 is packed with massive and even supermassive enemies that hit hard, making it incredibly difficult to survive without your auto beam power-up. The boss here is described as hyper hard. You'll face tough mid-stage sections with barrages of lasers and enemies that use wave cannons to break through structures. The giant blue boss requires destroying 5 turrets before its true threat begins, unleashing relentless guided missiles from its rear and a core that fires many bullets when exposed, requiring skillful use of your beam. Moving into Stage 3, the environment shifts to a space-based enemy stronghold. Unlike previous stages, enemies carrying items don't appear, so you must rely on the scattered items to survive. This stage throws varied challenges at you, including unpredictable tentacle enemies, enemies launched like missiles, and powerful missile attacks from below. The boss of Stage 3 is notoriously tough, with multiple weak points, but the ultimate goal is destroying its rear engines. Be ready for fierce laser attacks that seem impossible to dodge. Survival is key. This page presents the Sega Mega Drive port of the popular arcade immersive game, Galaxy Force 2. It's a 3D shooter where you pilot the fighter Trez, battling through enemies and infiltrating fortresses across 5 corrupted planets controlled by the Fourth Empire. The ultimate goal is to destroy the core hidden within each stronghold to progress. The game operates on a strict energy system. You're given a set amount of energy that constantly drains over time, and taking damage after your shield is depleted further reduces it. You must destroy the planet's core before your energy runs out, or it's game over. The page highlights the homing missile weapon, which normally fires 4 missiles simultaneously, but can be upgraded to fire 6 with power-up parts, encouraging players to unleash them frequently due to their unlimited nature. The story details the Junos system's struggle against the invading Fourth Empire, and the launch of the Galaxy Force project by the Unified Space Federation to combat them. The game was released on September 13th for 8,400 yen. This page dives deeper into the action of Galaxy Force 2, giving us a rundown of some of the game's challenging stages. It kicks off with the artificial planet Megalion, often the starting point. You'll fight through fierce space battles, blasting battlecruisers with your homing missiles before heading inside the planet's interior, where you'll need to navigate tight turns. Next up is the fiery volcano planet Ashkotal. Expect enemies shaped like fire snakes and dangerous fireballs raining down from above. You're warned to be careful with your speed here to avoid crashing. Then there's the eerie planet Markrand, teeming with biological foes like ground-sprouting cacti and jumping squids. The most notorious enemy mentioned is an indestructible, splitting bug-like creature you absolutely have to dodge. This stage culminates in a showdown with the massive centipede boss. Finally, the page teases the later stages, asking, "What about the stages after this?" It reveals the 4th stage is a perilous sand planet featuring tornadoes and webs, followed by a cloud planet. Be ready, because the enemy assault ramps up significantly from the sand planet onwards, leading you toward the path to another dimension after conquering the cloud planet. It highlights the increasing difficulty and diverse environments you'll face in the fight against the Fourth Empire. Populous for the Mega Drive is a god simulation game, where players guide their chosen people against an enemy population. The objective is to eliminate the opposing force. The game features diverse terrain types like grassland, desert, snowfield, and volcanic environments, each impacting population growth and attack power. Players wield psycho powers like earthquakes, volcanoes, and Armageddon to defeat their foes, but the enemy god can use them too. Before each battle, the world description screen displays available disasters and environmental conditions, such as the ability for followers to drown. Strategic use of these powers, considering the stage's specifics, is vital for success. The game launched on August 9th as a 4 MB simulation game, priced at 6,000 yen. This page offers strategic insights and advanced techniques for mastering the game Populous on the Mega Drive. It covers basic attack and defense methods, paths to victory, and even details strange monsters that appear. This page dives deeper into Populous strategy, starting with fundamental battle tactics like confirming the ability to use earthquake and flood, and advising players to build their settlements on ground elevated to 4 levels or higher before unleashing disasters when power is full. The Path to Victory section outlines 4 key techniques: wisely reclaiming land by building adjacent homes on high ground and filling in water rather than clearing small obstacles, maximizing population growth, noting that larger castles represent more people and strength, and shrinking them can release excess population, aiming for a high score which is best achieved by defeating the enemy, especially through the final battle, Armageddon, and effectively using knights, created by merging leaders and commoners, emphasizing that combining more people with a leader increases their power dramatically. The attack/defense battle section details attack patterns, like using disasters and creating a symbol mark in enemy territory, with the assemble command to produce knights for invasion. Defensive maneuvers include killing the enemy leader and creating swamps around their symbol mark. Finally, the page highlights surprising events, describing peculiar monsters that appear on reclaimed land which cannot be defeated but must be waited out, leaving behind rocks, forests, or swamps. This page introduces the action game Jewel Master, where you play as a spirit user battling monstrous creatures. The core mechanic revolves entirely around equipping rings to cast various magical spells. You begin with just 2 rings, acquiring more by defeating enemies, and the way you combine these rings determines the type and power level of your magic. The page illustrates how combining rings affects your character's attacks, and provides a chart detailing different spells. This chart shows which elemental rings, earth, water, fire, and wind, are needed for specific magic like earthquake, barrier, or various offensive spells, and at what level they become available. A key highlight is the ultimate magic, which can only be used by combining level 3 rings of all 4 elements, earth, water, fire, and wind, on both hands. Mastering these ring combinations is crucial for success in the game. The page emphasizes the importance of strategically collecting and combining rings to unleash powerful magic. This guide covers the first 2 stages of Jewel Master, the forest and the desert. Stage 1, the forest, emphasizes proactive enemy elimination for easier clearing, particularly focusing on quickly taking down gun turrets. The Spear Tiger boss requires strategic movement due to its leaping attacks. Players begin with level 1 fire and barrier magic. Stage 2, the desert, is a sprawling landscape allowing for strategic fire magic use. This stage includes challenging ruins with gun turrets and enemies like sandworms, rewarding the level 2 wind ring, skeletal figures, level 2 fire ring, and a phoenix-like creature. Navigation requires more than basic jumps. Cacti pose an aggressive threat. Finding a fairy provides a welcome health boost. The guide offers practical tips, such as adjusting to light transitions to avoid disorientation. The next page dives deeper into the challenging later stages of Jewel Master.
Stage 3 transports you from the heat to the chilling ice world.
Despite the icy terrain, the ground isn't slippery, offering a fair challenge. Look out for destructible ice pillars that can replenish your health, and mysterious floating objects holding valuable rings. This stage culminates in a battle against the powerful King Turtle. Following the ice, Stage 4 presents the treacherous mountain, leading directly to the Demon Lord's palace. This area is fraught with dangers like lava swamps and precarious paths where things tend to fall.
Prepare for a tough fight against the massive multi-jointed Blade Dragon boss. Finally, Stage 5 takes you inside the royal palace itself. This is the game's ultimate test. A complex and difficult environment. You'll face a variety of formidable enemies, including statues representing the elements, and numerous tough bosses before the final showdown. Be strategic, as health recovery is hard to come by here. The guide makes it clear these later stages require discipline and mastery to overcome. This page features a review of the Game Gear port of Sega's classic arcade racer, Outrun. It highlights that the game, originally a large-scale arcade experience, is now playable on the small handheld system, capturing much of the original atmosphere. New features for the Game Gear version are discussed, including the addition of an automatic transmission option, making it more accessible, and a versus mode allowing competitive play via link cable, where the trailing car gets a performance boost. Screenshots showcase the title screen, standard gameplay with various course backgrounds like cityscapes and windmills, a crash scene, and the versus mode display. The review notes the course branching system, offering 8 potential routes to the finish, and praises the variety of the 10 different course types. An evaluation diamond chart visually represents the scores. Operation, controls, and game balance both score a 3, longevity also a 3, while the audio/visual presentation receives a higher score of 4. The one-point review compares it briefly to the Mega Drive version, stating that while there are differences, the core enjoyment of Outrun as a casual driving game is well preserved on the Game Gear. The reviewer finds the cornering feel natural, but notes some strange elements in the course, elevation changes, and wishes for the arcade's manual gear shifting technique. This page features a review of Eternal Legend, presented as the first true RPG for the Sega Game Gear. Described as having an orthodox RPG world filled with monsters, swords, and magic, the story follows the protagonist, Alvin, in his quest for the legendary Golden Kingdom of Millennium. The game features a structure where short event scenarios build into the larger world, including surprising visual sequences. Screenshots show the title screen, the opening scene on Tira Island with protagonist Alvin and his master base, and scenes of exploring a town with various shops like an inn, weapon shop, item shop, pharmacy, and port. The battle system is text-based, but features engaging monster designs. The review evaluates the game with a diamond chart. Operability scores 4, audio/visual scores 3.5, game balance scores 3.5, and longevity scores 3.5. The one-point review notes that the game starts slowly, but improves significantly once party members join, offering good content volume across different islands. Playing a proper RPG like this on the Game Gear is highlighted as a major advantage. While the reviewer found the battle speed could be faster, the game is recommended for RPG fans, though its adherence to traditional RPG mechanics might be its only limitation. This page introduces several new and upcoming titles for the Game Gear. First is Shadam Senki, an Arabian-themed RPG similar to Eternal Legend but structured into 7 chapters, allowing a party of up to 4 characters. Next up is Compile's GG Aleste, a fast-paced vertical-scrolling shooter praised for its varied special attacks and challenging boss encounters. Strategy fans can look forward to Taisengata Daisen Ryaku Gjig,
a portable version of the popular simulation game that even supports versus battles using the link cable. Finally, the G.G hotline teases future releases, most notably confirming that Sonic the Hedgehog is coming to the Game Gear, alongside a collection featuring games like a difficult version of Columns called Koromusu. This page of the BeepMD Secret Technique League, Volume 17, is packed with insider tips for the strategic masterpiece, Advanced Dasenryaku, German Blitzkrieg Operation. The big news is the discovery of a hidden map editor, turning this already deep game into a truly lifetime experience. The page details several valuable tricks. You can unlock a special mode to tweak game parameters like military budget, allied nations, and turn limits. There's a powerful exploit to quickly evolve your supply wagons into supply trucks in just one turn by utilizing the auto supply feature near a city. For aerial strategy, a clever trick lets you effectively extend the movement range of carrier-based aircraft, allowing them to move through enemy territory like ghosts after initiating and canceling an attack. Furthermore, the discovered map editor is revealed, accessible via a specific input on the main menu. This powerful tool allows players to create custom 64 by 64 maps. The page also mentions hidden options in campaign mode and a special lower difficulty level, beginner, for reconnaissance mode, offering different rule sets. Screenshots throughout illustrate the menus and effects of these various techniques. This page is dedicated to reader-submitted tips and tricks for several popular Sega Mega Drive games. Part of the magazine's Secret Technique League. Featured games include Raiden, detailing locations where helpful fairies appear, and Arcus Odyssey, providing various passwords that allow players to start at specific chapters with significant advantages, including high stats, multiple crystals, and powerful items like the reverse doll. One password mentioned starts you with level 4, 10 horsepower, 6 magic crystals, and 5 reverse dolls. Tips are also presented for Marvel Land, describing hidden passages, such as one in stage 45, accessed via the ceiling. For Sonic the Hedgehog, the classic sound test and level select code entered at the title screen is explained. Finally, Super Airwolf gets an invincibility command input you perform on the Start/Options screen. The page also outlines a contest for submitting secret techniques, explaining how to send in your discoveries and detailing the different prize tiers awarded based on the quality and impact of the submitted tip. Chapter 2 of Fighting King Colossus, titled A Soul Resides in That Mark, features a boy trained in combat, grappling with mysterious origins and a strange tattoo. He lives with an old man, who receives a visit from a wealthy, fleshy guest, who jokes about the boy's skill and the old man's fighting dogs, before inquiring about the boy's upcoming fight with Gomunusu. The narrative then shifts to the boy and a soldier entering a dark cave, on their way to face Gomunusu. The soldier tries to calm the boy, minimizing the threat. However, a foul-smelling mist suddenly erupts, ending the chapter on a cliffhanger. The page also includes illustrations, one depicting a previous battle, and another showing a grotesque insectoid creature, likely related to Gomunusu. This page continues the story of Fighting King Colossus, with Chapter 3. Inside the cave, the black shadow is revealed to be Gomunusu, which quickly attacks and kills a soldier. The protagonist boy feels a surge of anger, mixed with fading fear, a feeling he's experienced before since fighting a priest of an evil cult. He calms himself and focuses, trying to find Gomunusu's weakness, recognizing it's a stronger opponent. The perspective shifts to Gomunusu itself, described as a creature that doesn't know what it is, only that it was in the cave, eating smaller creatures. It encountered humans who promised it new prey and taught it. Gomunusu ate the humans sent to it, growing more cunning and cruel when the taste became less fresh. When the prey stopped coming, it grew angry, and eventually became too large to leave the cave. Today, new prey has arrived. The text describes Gomunusu sensing the new prey by the smell of fresh blood, moving forward to attack. The illustrations show the hero in a powerful pose, seemingly preparing for battle, and a detailed close-up of the monstrous, crab-like Gomunusu. This page continues the dramatic story of King Colossus. The intense battle within the cave concludes as the protagonist defeats the monstrous Gomunusu. After the fight, he encounters the arena master, Kalrim, and his daughter. Kalrim explains, the boy's destiny is intertwined with the emblem he bears, marking him as a fighter destined for the arena. He reveals the emblem's history, and his own responsibility in training the boy.
The protagonist accepts his path and is handed over to soldiers. A new chapter, Sword, Reveal Your True Name, begins, depicting a sunlit arena where the protagonist faces a large opponent before a roaring crowd. He skillfully defeats the man, and the sun reveals the emblem on his hand, recognized by older spectators, who see him as a sign of hope for a coming age. The next page dives into the Video Game Club, highlighting some trending arcade titles including Sega's new UFO Catcher, DD Crew, Dynamic Circus C, and Rad Rally, alongside Alpha Denchi's Crossword, Snake's 2020 Super Baseball, and Toaplan's Teki Paki. The main feature is the popular new UFO Catcher machine, noting its appeal, particularly to female gamers drawn to cute plush prizes. The article highlights the current demand for Sonic the Hedgehog plushies, showing the machine and several different characters available, including Sonic, Friends, and Dr. Robotnik. Following this is a winning strategy guide for the UFO Catcher, offering practical tips such as choosing the right arcade location, carefully observing how the prizes are positioned, and mastering specific techniques like the neck grab or using balance, illustrated with diagrams of plush figures. The guide emphasizes that strategy and careful observation are key to success, rather than just relying on luck or brute force, saving players money in the long run. This page provides a deeper look at two games highlighted previously, Alpha Denchi's Crossword and Snonk's 2020 Super Baseball. Crossword is presented as a 3D action game infused with RPG elements. Players gain power-ups through items, not just traditional leveling. The game features a substantial structure with 7 chapters, offering diverse settings and challenges. Combat involves various attacks like sword strikes, magic, and special moves, with items enhancing capabilities. The game boasts a variety of enemy attacks and challenging bosses, culminating in a fight against the final boss, Nullscythe. Screenshots showcase the game's shop interface, combat scenes, and various boss encounters including a fiery demon, a large crab, and armored knights. Following this, 2020 Super Baseball is described as a cyber-futuristic take on the sport. Beyond standard baseball rules, it incorporates unique features, like a reward system, where players earn money for successful plays, like hits and double plays. The field itself can influence gameplay with random elements, such as earthquakes, cracker, zones that affect the ball's trajectory, ball stop zone, and areas allowing for double jumps, jumping zone. These elements create a distinctive, exciting atmosphere that differentiates it from traditional baseball games. Screenshots show the game's unique interface and futuristic player designs on the field. This page previews 4 arcade games. DD Crew, a 4-player beat-em-up, challenges players to defeat terrorists using unique fighters and strategic combat. Dynamic Circus C, a golf simulation, boasts impressive 3D graphics and realistic course details, including close-ups and wireframe views. Rad Rally, a 4-player rally racer, features diverse environments and demands skillful driving to beat checkpoints and avoid police capture. Finally, Teki Paki is a hard but cute puzzle game where players clear colored blocks by connecting 5 of the same color, with increasing speed and special blocks adding complexity. This page is the Genesis Information Bureau, Volume 4, reporting on the adventures surrounding Sonic the Hedgehog and featuring additional coverage from Macy's. The used Sonic situation is highlighted, discussing the official tie-up between BeepMD and US magazines like Megaplay and Electronic Gaming Monthly, which will enable real-time overseas information. Sonic the Hedgehog's release in the US was explosive, breaking sales records and surpassing even the Super Mario series in popularity, according to the general evaluation in America. The US Genesis price has dropped significantly, making it very affordable and presenting a challenge to the Super NES. The article notes subtle differences between the Genesis and Japanese versions of Sonic. The report also covers Sega games that caught the author's eye at CES. Toe Jam and Earl is described as a unique game where you search for spaceship parts and find strange items. Fantasia is noted for its Disney-like graphics and smooth character animation. Decap Attack, the Genesis version of Magical Hat, is mentioned for its significantly changed system and humorous attack method using the character's head. Other games, like Lemmings, are expected to come to Mega Drive, and Shadow of the Beast is also mentioned, though its release might differ from the EK version. This page continues covering Genesis software news, highlighting titles shown at CES. The author notes interest in games like the 3D-type Ings of Power and the character-based space opera Buck Rogers. There's also a mention of Razorsoft's 3D shooter Death Duel
and excitement for the Disney title Quackshot featuring Donald Duck. A major focus is on Accolade's new label, Ballistic, bringing high-capacity PC ports to the Genesis. Their initial releases, the 12-megabyte strategy game Star Control and the 8-megabyte baseball simulation Hardball, are presented with screenshots showing complex space battles and detailed baseball fields. Future action titles like Onslaught and Turrican are also announced from this label. The article also underscores the significant attention the Mega CD received at CES, noted for its potential to enable larger, more complex games. This page features Volume 5 Hyper Sega, the adventure surrounding Rad Mobile SV, detailing a visit to Sega World Southwest Arcade in Mie Prefecture. The page includes a large image of the arcade interior showing various machines like Glock and a claw catcher, along with smaller images of the claw catcher and a small carousel ride. The article follows a narrative style, with the author, narrator, recounting their hot summer visit to the arcade with a companion named Ahiki, searching for the elusive Rad Mobile SV machine mentioned in the previous issue. The narrator describes the intense heat and feeling out of place in his formal attire, commenting on the arcade's atmosphere and the presence of family-friendly games like the claw machine and carousel. There's a summary referencing the previous installment, which discussed a mysterious 21-stage version of Rad Mobile that supposedly appeared briefly on a specific date. The search for this special machine continues in this volume, highlighting the main goal of their arcade visit. The tone is somewhat hard-boiled, contrasting the gritty narration with the bright, playful arcade environment. This page continues the report on the visit to Sega World Southwest, picking up the narrative from the previous volume. The author and Ashiki are exploring the arcade, described as having a cheerful, almost theme park-like atmosphere. A section titled, My Investigation Memo, Girls Chapter, introduces two staff members, Junko Kawamura, 24, and Hiromi Shibata, 23, pictured here. The text notes they are both housewives, one recently married, and mentions Hiromi's interest in appearing on television, having auditioned for shows. The exploration continues, with a focus on the UFO catcher, where Aseki is particularly engaged, quickly spending the 500 yen the author gives her. The page features photos of various arcade attractions, including a striking Sega anchor display, a large simulator ride resembling a vehicle, likely R360, judging by the design, and views of the arcade's interior, which has a nautical theme with a mezzanine level. Further down, a section titled Sega Information Station from the Sotokanda Sogo Shinyo Kumiai Renpeisha News announces a reader contest. Fans are encouraged to send postcards to the magazine's editorial department with their thoughts or ideas. Featured entries can win a Sega Game Gear, and 50 winners will receive original Sega ballpoint pens. This segment acts as a call to action for reader participation and offers some desirable Sega merchandise as prizes. The page maintains the blend of narrative reportage and magazine features, typical of the Hyper Sega section. This page is a reader-present campaign from BeepMD magazine, offering a variety of prizes to lucky winners. Readers can enter by sending in a postcard with their entry details. The prizes are diverse, featuring several Sega Mega Drive titles including the classic arcade racer Outrun, the unique pinball game Dino Land, the fast-paced Mega Tracks, the strategic God Simulator Populous, and the action-packed Jewel Master. Game Gear fans aren't left out, with the RPG Eternal Legend also on offer. Beyond games, Konami's Game Selector hardware, designed to make switching between consoles a breeze, is a prize. For collectors, there are special phone cards featuring artwork from the RPG Master of Monsters and the action game El Viento. Finally, copies of The History of Video Games book, covering gaming history up to 1988, are also available to win and can even be purchased via mail order. It's a solid lineup, giving readers a chance to grab some great gaming gear and memorabilia. This page provides an update on the magazine's activities and directly engages with the readers. It lists the magazine's staff members and features an article discussing the positive reception for the TV show Be Mega World, which highlights new Mega Drive games. The article notes the strong reader feedback and the magazine's focus on building excitement for the platform, particularly the Mega CD. It expresses the anticipation and potential for Mega CD software development beyond what was possible with room cartridges, and mentions the next issue will include a special appendix featuring Ultra Techniques, essentially a guide to game cheats and tips. Below that, the release date for the next issue, the October special issue, is prominently displayed as September 7th. Finally, A detailed reader questionnaire is included, asking for demographic information like age, gender, and occupation, as well as reader opinions on games they are interested in buying or want to see ported to the Mega CD, showing the magazine's commitment to understanding its audience's tastes. The page is adorned with a cheerful, colorful illustration of a landscape, with stylized cars and characters, fitting the vibrant tone. This page features a striking promotion for the Sega Mega Drive shoot 'em up, Raiden Trad, known as Raiden Densetsu in Japan. The page displays the game's bold title logo alongside dynamic artwork of the iconic Raiden fighter ship, showcasing its sleek design. Two screenshots highlight the intense vertical scrolling gameplay, featuring the player ship battling various enemy formations and a large boss. The main focus is a promotional campaign offering readers a chance to win a Sega TerraDrive system. They are seeking monitors, likely testers or survey participants, who enjoy games, especially shooting games, and are interested in new technology like the TerraDrive. By clearing a special stage in the game, which was released on July 6th, players would receive a message. Submitting this message on a questionnaire postcard by September 30th enters them into a lottery to win one of 10 TerraDrive systems, Sega's unique PC/console hybrid. The page also lists the game's price at 8,800 yen, and notes it's an 8 megabit cartridge for one player, confirming it's already on sale. The bottom includes copyright information for Micronet and the original developer, Seibu Kaihatsu. This page is a vibrant advertisement for the Sega Mega Drive shoot 'em up, Raiden Trad, known as Raiden Densetsu in Japan. It features a dynamic illustration of the game's signature red and white fighter jet soaring through the sky. Two screenshots are included, one showing intense vertical scrolling action over a cityscape or base, and the other depicting a battle against a large, imposing spacecraft, showcasing the variety of enemy encounters. The text prominently declares the game is finally appearing on the Mega Drive and boasts that Raiden Densetsu surpasses the arcade version. It highlights the game's content with all 8 stages plus exciting special stage. The overall message is a strong promotional push, aiming to excite players about this popular arcade title coming to the home console with enhanced features. Micronet is listed as the publisher. This page is a striking advertisement promoting the Sega Mega Drive title, Devil's Crush, which was known as Devil Crash in Japan. The artwork is dominated by a dark, surreal image of a woman's face emerging from a biomechanical or demonic structure, complete with teeth-like protrusions above her head, hinting at the game's macabre theme. The page highlights the game's release date as October 10th. Key features are promoted, emphasizing its status as a shocking pinball game debut on the Mega Drive, featuring amazing new visuals. The text boasts significantly evolved graphics and BGM, described as the strongest and most exciting, alongside numerous brilliant and original stages and sounds designed to evoke emotion. The game is credited with copyrights from Technosoft, Naxat Soft, and Red, with Technosoft listed as the publisher. This collaboration brought the popular Crush pinball series, previously successful on other platforms, to Sega's 16-bit console, with its signature dark fantasy style. This page is a striking announcement for the release of Devil's Crush on the Sega Mega Drive, known as Devil Crash MD in Japan. It features the game's signature eyeball logo and dark, gothic design. 3 screenshots showcase the unique, horror-themed pinball tables, including stages featuring a pentagram, multiple skulls, and reptilian creatures, highlighting the game's distinct macabre aesthetic. The page loudly declares, "Release!" and lists the price as 6,800 yen. It also announces an upcoming high-score campaign for Devil's Crush, promising special presents for players who achieve top scores, adding an extra incentive for fans. A small photo of 2 women is included, possibly related to a promotional event. This serves as a direct call to action for consumers, confirming the game's availability and teasing future player engagement. This page presents exciting previews for 2 upcoming Sega titles: the action RPG Jewel Master for the Mega Drive and the traditional RPG Eternal Legend for the Game Gear. Jewel Master is highlighted with dramatic artwork depicting a magic-wielding hero. The text explains, the protagonist is a spirit user who collects magic rings to gain abilities and defeat fearsome monsters across diverse environments, like forests, deserts, and mountains, all to save the world. Screenshots show the game's fantasy world exploration and the unique Ring Select system. It's announced for an August 30th release. Eternal Legend, Sega's first original RPG for the Game Gear, is previewed with dynamic character art and promises a grand adventure of wisdom and courage for young heroes seeking a legendary golden country. Screenshots illustrate the game's top-down map view and turn-based battle system with character stats. Releasing on August 9th with battery backup, this page also serves to promote the Game Gear itself, showcasing the portable console and its TV tuner accessory, emphasizing the handheld's color capabilities.